movies.
There we go.
Welcome, everyone in the chat. Thank you for stopping in. Let's let Curtis get us all on screen here.
Oh,
I love it.
Expectations have been set.
There I am. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome, everyone in the chat. We are here tonight to talk about our top picks for 1989. The way this works is each member of the panel has given their top 10 picks for 1989. If one person picked it, it will get a rank of D. If two picked it, a rank of C, 3, B, and so on until if 5 or 6 people picked it, it is an S-ranked film. S-ranked is the best. That's the goal. So why don't we go ahead and introduce everyone here on the panel. I am the Profit Director, as everyone knows. And you can find me on the Profit Director on YouTube or PD Destro 1973 on IG. Curtis?
my name is Curtis Schultz, if you guys don't already know. You could find me on YouTube and on various YouTube channels, and you can find me on Facebook as well and Instagram. But yeah, on to the next person.
Digital, how about you?
I am the Digital Caveman, and you can find me Monday through Friday at youtube.com/@digitalcaveman with 2 N's, just like it's spelled under my beautiful picture there. Not that guy with 1 N. Make sure you put 2 N's because we don't like that guy with 1 N. But do action figure reviews 5 days a week. So check it out. It's a mix of a little bit of everything. And you can also find me, same handle, on Instagram and Threads and possibly X, Twitter, whatever the hell they're calling it these days, although I don't go on there very much.
All right, Ed.
And
Hello, I'm Ed of Geek Homeworld. You can find me at youtube.com/@geekhomeworld. I talk film, TV, tech, and I just talk and talk and talk. But I'm glad to be here with everybody. We're doing the films of 1989. We want to see you guys active in the chat, and let's just make this a great show. A lot of hard work's been put into it, especially by Prophet and everybody else. So let's have a fun time.
All right, Digital, I'm sorry. Did I cut you off?
No. I think I
right.
finished.
Also, you could find Curtis's very large head on the screen there. But you can also find Ed on the radio.
Oh, yeah. I'm on WRHQ.com. I'm a fill-in announcer. So, yeah, back into radio.
Very nice.
Thank you.
M3, how about you?
It's me, M3. You can find me in my garage drinking beer, Bud Light, at any given night and any given Sunday. Tonight is Sunday, and I am drinking once again. Thanks.
All right, and you can also find J.J. Abrams over at Curtis's house. Look at those lens flares. And our special guest tonight, our guest panelist, is Ace from Ace's Place 22. Ace, introduce yourself.
As Prophet just said, I'm Ace from Ace's Place 22. You can find me here on YouTube at that handle of Ace's Place 22. I mostly just do reviews of like Simpson toys, Ninja Turtle figures, and a little bit of random stuff, whatever kind of piques my interest. And I do a live every single Friday called the Ace in the Hole Variety Show. It's usually at 6 p.m. And check it out if you don't have anything going on that day. So there you go.
All right, Curtis, I have a screen share down there with the you'll see the thumbnail there. You could bring that up. Well, M3, if you don't mind, why don't you address the chat, sir?
Absolutely. What up, Rob78, Ultra Liger? Raw Talk is here. Shout out Raw Talk. We got Geek, we got Digital, we got Moto Viper. What's up, Moto Viper? And
Moto.
Oh,
Dose Studios is here. Doug Smith says hello to the panel for me, M3. Yes, sir. What up, TKD Bar? And what's up, Zach? Billionaire is here. Damn, there's a lot of you guys here. What up, Zach? Zach's my homie from over here, my local homie. Rob78. If I haven't mentioned Rob, I might be repeating, but what's up, everybody? Aces is here. Aces is on panel. Shout out to you for coming. And Prophet put a lot of work into this, you guys. Ed said we all did. We didn't do shit. Prophet did it all. Thank you, Prophet.
The hardest thing we had to do
it
was
was our
our movies.
Make
our
a
movies.
list,
That
yeah.
was hard work.
Well, speaking of hard work, I always try to put a little effort into the thumbnail, as you guys can see in front of you here. The Chicago Theater, now the Cobra Theater. But you can see the bat signal is up there, but Batman can't actually make it because he rear-ended me in traffic. And now he's trying to act like he didn't do anything or looking the other way.
So you just
And
hit me,
then
Batman.
down
I'm
here in the
Batman.
corner,
Look at the smoke coming out.
you've got
He said, "Tell your
you've got,
insurance company about
M3 trying to get props for his eggplant from Curtis, but Curtis is showing how small he thinks it is. I always like to update the movie posters. As you can see, there's Batman and Harlem Nights. Little spoilers for what's on tonight. The Abyss, and covered by the Batmobile mostly is Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. I always try to put a lot of the movies that we picked onto the marquee.
It's very nice.
The matinee
Nice.
price of $3.99. That's what it was back in 1989.
Yeah.
Good luck finding a theater for that price now.
Yeah.
But hopefully you guys all enjoy the thumbnail. I always try to incorporate some toys that I have that were from a movie of that year. And naturally, being 89, it had to be Batman this time.
Mhm.
But anyone have anything they'd like to add before I start us on our journey through the movies of 1989?
Thumbs
Yeah,
up,
real
thumbs
quick.
up.
That's not honey. Nah, forget it.
Hey, I can if I will. I don't know if I said Casuals here, and Fumbling to the Galaxy came in.
What's up, fellas?
What's up, fellas?
Yeah, I saw Raw
there.
Talk come in too.
I saw Raw Talk come in too.
Yeah, thanks you guys.
Right
Thanks, man.
on. Nice big full house,
Right
man.
on,
That's
big
cool.
Full house.
Hey,
Yes.
Doug's here too. How's it
Hey,
going,
Olsen
Doug?
Hey,
twins
Doug's
here?
there too.
Big
Big
M.
M.
Olsen twins are coming
Olsen twins are coming.
because
Big
it's full
M.
house.
Yeah, we have plans to have Curtis's friend. Curtis, what's your friend who's going to be a guest on the show soon?
Curtis has a twin.
It's his name is Murphy. He's from I met him through the VA. He's a worker for the VA, helps a lot of VA guys.
Is he RoboCop?
No, he's got his own
Murphy.
YouTube channel called It's Time to Eat, I believe. And he goes around to local he even goes on vacation and goes to places and does a review on restaurants and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
Right.
But he got into G.I. Joe because of me. I think I made his wife.
Yeah, I think it's Boss Man Time to Eat. Is that right?
Yeah, Boss Man Time to Eat. Yeah.
Right. So he'll be a guest on soon, and also Doug. Doug said he'd be happy to do a Doug Smith there. He said he'd be happy to be a guest one day. So some plans for future guests, just to let people
Yay.
know.
Oh,
tonight,
I got one.
tonight it's Ace, so we're gonna focus on Ace tonight.
Yeah, I got one
Yeah,
more
appreciate
too.
it.
My friend David, we've known each other since we were basically babies, but he's a big G.I. Joe fan, big Star Wars fan, but big G.I. Joe fan. So eventually we're gonna bring him on a G.I. Joe episode sometime.
Nice.
So,
Well, Seafrost is here. Hello, Seafrost.
see Frost.
The only
All
thing
right.
I'd
Well,
like
let's
to
go
add.
ahead and.
Oh.
Go ahead, Ace.
Yeah, I just want to add. I know I'm the guest this go around for '89, and I just want to throw one little suggestion out there for 1990. I better see somebody throw Ninja Turtles out there for a movie. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah.
So, all right, that's all I've got.
Hey, look, the first Ninja Turtles movie could easily make somebody's list for sure.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
can't make
great
any
film.
promises about anything that followed.
That's all right. That's all right.
All right. So next up,
Word.
we're gonna go ahead and start the slideshow. The first movie on the list tonight,
The Abyss.
The Abyss,
Oh,
picked by
perfect.
DC, Ed, M3, and myself. Digital, why don't you start us off on The Abyss?
You know, a great movie for its time, and the effects were really good. And I remember they shot this movie, like the underwater portions of it, on the biggest water stage in the world, or at the time. There might be one bigger than that now. And I can say, like, the first time this is a movie you have to watch multiple times, because the first time I watched, I didn't quite get what was going on. Maybe I'm just dense, but I had to watch it multiple times to kind of get everything. And then many years later, when I saw the extended cut or the director's cut or whatever they're calling it on DVD, that helped fill in some things too. So, but a great movie. James Cameron usually does, at least during this time, everything was great from James Cameron. Now, later on, I can't really say that, but your mileage may vary. But Abyss, I really enjoy this movie.
Nice.
And,
Ed, you've never given up
somebody
anything
else
on
can have it
anything
now.
in your life. Fight!
I tell you what, James Cameron doesn't know how to make a bad movie, and I can say that because I'm a Terminator fan. Yeah,
seen
but I'm a
Titanic.
Cameron fan. I know. I was like, sink the ship already, won't you? Just sink the ship. And but The Abyss was groundbreaking at the time that it came out. And James Cameron is kind of like a George Lucas. He doesn't do anything. He's like a Christopher Nolan. He doesn't make a movie unless he's gonna push things in a new and interesting direction. And The Abyss did that. The performances were great. The visuals were, like I said, groundbreaking. The Abyss is one of the best sci-fi films ever, in my opinion. And so there's no way it could not be on my top 10. So it definitely deserves to be in my top 10. Great film.
Looks like Ace fell off. Hopefully Ace gets back in here soon.
Ace is the place.
But Ace wasn't one of the ones that picked this anyways.
Well, that's what he gets.
M3,
No.
Why don't you tell us why society got so upset that they pretended that a rat could breathe liquid oxygen?
Yeah, well, I think that this was a really good movie, and it was a perfect idea of aliens being here on Earth and us humans fucking some shit and dropping a nuke down where it shouldn't be. So we had to go and get that nuke, and that was the whole military procedure, or the whole procedure was to extract that nuke, right? The amniotic fluid that forgive me for not giving his name or not knowing his name, but he had to go down to the water because he was in the depths of really deep water. The amniotic fluid idea was superb to me. I thought that was like, wow, that works. That means if Hollywood puts it out, that means we've probably been fucking with this kind of technology for a minute, right? I always believe that Hollywood kind of puts little tidbits of information to the public, slowly, so we can accept it later. But I think the aliens under the ocean was a perfect concept. Good movie. If you guys haven't seen it yet, it's a pretty good watch. Gina Davis is in it. Pretty good.
Gina
watch.
Davis is not in it.
Oh wait, who's the girl? What's her name? If it's not, I know it's not Gina Davis, but it's
Mary Elizabeth Master Antonio.
she's great. She did a really good part. She's got some good scenes.
Michael Bean.
What a
Terminator.
freaking name,
Yeah,
man.
Michael Bean absolutely kills it in this. His performance is insane.
Big M.
And that's a double entendre in particularly for that character in this film. Yeah, I think this movie's one of the best of the year. And if this movie was made today, they simply would have sent ICE agents down there to deal with the aliens.
Yeah. Gadoosh.
But it wasn't made today, so it was excellent film. James Cameron killed it on this. Yes, Ed's James Cameron fandom is terminal. But yeah, this movie got picked by 4 people, and therefore it gets a rank of A.
Yay.
Next on the list is one of I believe it's Ace's pick. All dogs go to heaven. Why don't you tell us about Burt Reynolds' Fleas?
Yeah, this movie, it's got a specific flavor. You know, it's not for everybody. Most people kind of look over an animated movie as like, you know, specifically a child's movie. But this, for what it was at the time, was very impactful to me and my brother when we were little because, you know, just family issues of our own. And this movie just shows a little girl struggling in an orphanage and not having a family and finding these, you know, basically these 2 junkyard dogs that don't really understand or know the meaning of love in a endearing kind of manner. They just know how to survive through the day. And the big boss, I guess, of the movie, or the big bad, is like this, I don't know, pit boss kind of, you know, mob style bulldog. And he's, you know, the catalyst of why there's all these problems. And the little girl ends up, you know, finding a home within these 2 dogs. And looking back at it now, I've learned that there's a little story to it, that at the end of the movie, Burt Reynolds' character Charlie is on his way to heaven, something he was trying to do throughout like the whole movie once, you know, he realizes what being good is. And during the actual filming of the movie, they recorded the little girl's dialogue at the end of the movie when she's saying goodbye to him. And in real life, her father was jealous of her to a certain degree of her fame and ended up, unfortunately, murdering her in real life. So when Burt Reynolds went back to the studio to finish his lines, it's bittersweet. So when he's saying goodbye to the character in the movie, you can hear it in his voice, the heartbreak of him saying goodbye to this actual human being and the actress. And watching this with my daughter only a few months ago, it really sits with me in a whole different way than it did when I was a kid. So I suggest anybody that's lost a dog, a family member, or anything like that, give this movie a watch, and it might just sit with you in a different way than how you might have perceived it before.
Nice. It's always good when a movie can bring you a little catharsis.
Yeah, and it's got
on top of that, this movie, I believe this was the last time that Burt Reynolds and Dom DeLuise were in a film together.
Yes, I was just gonna say that. Yes, it was.
But yeah, and as far as animated goes, the 90s is where the Disney Renaissance starts. So I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot more animated films on people's lists. But as it stands, Ace was the only one that picked this one, so it gets a rank of D.
Good movie.
Now, keep in mind, a movie getting a rank of D is not necessarily a bad thing, because every movie on here is in one of the panelists' top 10.
Sure, and you know, to be fair, with the Abyss, I would have absolutely voted that movie in, but I had just watched it for the very first time this morning for this specific show. So yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple movies on here that I wish I had more room on my list for, but simply didn't.
Yeah.
One of
That's
Curtis's
every
picks
list.
in particular that comes up later. I wish I would have had room. But we'll get to that when we get there. Next on the list, Always. And this was only picked by me. Kind of a shocker for me. This is one of my favorite Spielberg movies. In this film, Richard Dreyfuss plays a pilot that flies over forest fires and dumps water on them.
Oh wow.
to help
Yeah.
the firefighters on the ground get the job done. Well, he dies pretty early on in the film, and then in order to get into heaven, much like in All Dogs Go to Heaven, he has a task that he has to complete to get his soul up there, and he has to be the inspiration for another pilot. And it's more like for him, he has to learn to let go, because the very pilot who he has to inspire is the one who's trying to hook up with his girl. But this movie is incredible. It's one of Spielberg's best, one of Richard Dreyfuss's best performances. John Goodman absolutely kills in it, and Holly Hunter's never been cuter.
Oh wow.
But yeah, if you have not seen Always, do yourself a favor and check this film out, because it is absolutely magnificent.
It's a
I mean,
beautiful
look at
film.
Holly Hunter. She's never been cuter than she is in this film.
I
That is
never
a-
even knew this existed.
It's
Yeah,
a great
this
film.
is
Never,
a
I've never
really
heard of this one either.
fantastic movie.
It is beautiful.
I'm
It's
gonna
a
have to look it
beautiful
up now.
film. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
worth a watch.
definitely check it out. John Goodman's great in it.
I love John Goodman.
Yeah, everybody's great in that.
Yeah, absolutely. This was the He's Dead the Whole Time movie long before The Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
But
Spoiler.
So was
I'm
this
the only
the
one that
only-
picked it, and therefore it gets a rank of D.
That was the only movie, or that one and Jaws were the only ones Spielberg and Dreyfuss worked on together?
No, because Dreyfuss was in Close Encounters of the Third Kind as well.
Oh, that's right. I forgot all about that
That's right.
film. Yep.
Moving on, the next film on the list, Back to the Future
Yes.
2, picked by Ace, Digital Caveman, Ed, and myself.
Gosh.
Ace, we're gonna let you start this one off. Go ahead.
Oh man, how do you start? Back to the Future 2. Like, this movie, I don't even know how to speak about just this movie other than the whole trilogy itself, but this is, to me, the best out of the three. You get a little bit of it all. You got Doc and Marty at their absolute peak of these characters and just pulling you right along. The story flows together so well from the first one. The ending where you get the actual trailer for the third movie, at that time, that was a big deal because you really didn't get like a little Easter egg or a setup like that in a lot of films. The future aesthetic, what they thought the year, what was it, 2015?
Yeah, 2015.
Yeah.
But they thought 2015 was going to look like. Obviously, we're a decade past that now. So to see where they thought we would be and where we're actually at in, the real world is still a pretty interesting aesthetic to look at with the movie, because it still seems so ahead of its time. It's a fantastic film. I can't even gush over it any more than that.
Yeah, they clearly had high hopes for the future.
Yeah.
Who's next here? Digital. This was, well, you were one I picked this, right?
Yeah, I picked this one. Again, I can't disagree with anything that Ace said there about it. It's a great part of the trilogy. I mean, it's the middle part of the trilogy, so it kind of has to be the darkest part.
Yeah.
And in some ways it is, and in some ways it's not. But I'm still waiting on my flying cars and my hoverboard. Although I wouldn't be able to use a hoverboard because I would fall and break my ass. Because I'm just not a skateboard guy. But the idea of it is cool, and the fact that they thought Jaws was going to go on to part was it 27 or 24 or 14 or whatever it was, when they're in the future in 2015 and the Marquis comes alive to eat him.
Yeah.
I can't remember which Jaws that was supposed to be, but
Well, the
and-
shark still
and-
looks fake.
Yeah.
Holograms.
Yeah, that shark looks faker than the one in the movie.
Holly dogs.
But it's a great part of the movie. You can't have the next one without this one, of course. And everybody waited all this time for Back to the Future 2 after the setup that they did at the end of Back to the Future, you know, and we had to wait, you know, all these years to find out what the problem was with Marty's kids.
4 years.
And
Yeah.
4 years. So that was a long time to wait when, you know, you're an 80s kid.
Yeah, time
So,
was way
but, you know, it's obviously I like this movie because I put it in my top 10. And, you know, Christopher Lloyd, I think this is probably the best character he ever played. And
Yeah,
it's probably
agreed.
the most memorable character.
even
he
better
ever
than
played.
Taxi.
Yes.
Yes, better than Taxi.
Yeah, I can't say I disagree with you. Ed, don't be a slacker.
I won't be. That's heavy, you know. But Ace brought up a good point that made me think that Back to the Future 2 and 3 were filmed back to back, and even though so that was kind of unheard of back in the 80s, and that was pretty cool. Didn't this film predict that the Cubs win the World Series? Because I'm not a sports guy. Didn't they like later win because they had that curse on them for all those years?
Yes, it did. It did predict the Cubs World Series.
Okay, cool. So something came out of it. Prophet said that he thinks this is the perfect trilogy, and I've always said Star Wars or Lord of the Rings, but it might be Back to the Future. I love these films. I could watch all of them just back to back. They are just about damn perfect. The first one is perfect, and number 2 just takes it into the future, and it's a lot of fun. And last thing I'll say is roads. Where we're going, who needs roads? So next.
Well, I guess that depends on what roads you're talking about. Ozzy Osbourne sure needed Randy Rhodes at this point. But this movie, this is like the Empire Strikes Back for this trilogy here. You know, it's got a lot of dark bits in it with the altered future, and it hangs on a fairly negative climax where Han Solo's been taken by Jabba Hutt and Lucas. I'm sorry, where Doc Brown gets zapped into the past and Marty has to go find him. And I think that Marty could have saved a lot of trouble. He got greedy. That's the problem here. He wanted to take that sports almanac and bet on a ton of shit, when all he had to do was go back in time one day with today's lottery numbers. He would have been taken care of. But, you know, nobody thinks about that. They always want to, like, be greedy and go more, further than they have to. But, whatever you're going to do, it doesn't matter. I think one thing that, with these trilogies that people don't really talk about much, that they probably should talk a little more about, is the iconic score. That like nobody talks about the score of this movie.
Was it John Williams?
A very memorable theme.
It's not John Williams.
No,
but it is absolutely amazing.
That's great.
And I put it on par with John Williams like stuff as being that memorable.
Prophet.
It's very iconic.
Prophet, can I add one fact to this real quick?
Sure.
Bob Gale and Robert Zemeckis, who put the idea of the films together, have come out and publicly said, as long as they're living and their estates continue, there will not be a reboot of this. This is a series you cannot reboot.
And it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be. Don't touch
Right.
it. Leave it alone. Disney, go
And in case
somewhere
you're
else.
wondering, Alan Silvestri is the score.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah.
he did the Avengers and stuff.
Yes.
in case you were wondering, Ed, Kathleen Kennedy's name, your favorite person in the universe, was in the credits.
This was before the dark times, before she turned to the dark side.
Yeah, this was back while she was still following instructions and wasn't in charge.
And wasn't in
That's
charge.
funny.
Yeah, before the Empire.
But this movie got picked by 4 people, and therefore it gets a rank of A.
Nice.
Next on the list, Batman.
Wow, so soon.
Picked by literally everybody.
Buddy.
Oh yeah.
Like, let's be realistic. Everybody was picking Batman from the
Of
start.
course.
Hey, Prophet, we should
I'll go
all
ahead
talk
and
about it
start.
at the same time.
I saw this movie opening day with a friend of mine,
Wow.
and the day right after I came out of the theater, my friend Brian and I turned to each other and said, "That is the greatest movie we've ever seen." and this remained my absolute favorite movie I've ever seen until Forrest Gump came out in, what was it, 94?
Yeah.
That
But
sounds right.
this movie, you know, at the time, I thought this movie was perfect. You know, and here's the thing, right? Everybody got so mad at Batman v Superman because Batman killed people.
Here we go.
And
Yeah.
it's like Batman killed people in this too.
Yep.
But the difference
Yes,
is
he
this
did.
movie was good. But
That's
yeah,
a
the Batmobile, very iconic. Built on a Corvette Stingray chassis, I believe. Jack Nicholson, totally iconic as a Joker, even though he was admittedly trying to emulate Cesar Romero's Joker.
Hmm.
Kim Basinger, hot as hell. What are you gonna do? Michael Keaton, still the best Bruce Wayne in my opinion. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and stop talking about it. And Curtis, why don't you tell us what you thought?
Yeah, this was one of my favorite movies for the longest time. Still is a favorite of mine to watch from time to time. So, I saw this when it came out on VHS. I didn't get to see it at the movies. And me and my friends, my parents got it, and they got us pizza, and we sat around. I remember it was a summer day, like around lunchtime. We watched it and ate pizza. It was a great time. That movie, we're just like, wow. You know, it was great. And then what's his name was in it? Colt 45.
Billy
the
D.
Billy
Williams.
Yes.
Interesting
Billy
that
D.
you call him Colt 45 and not Lando Calrissian.
I know. I tried
You're
throwing it. See, but yeah, it was the characters. Joker, Jack Nicholson was great, even though I didn't think he was gonna look like he was great. He did pretty good. I liked how they did some of the things, like his face was like melted that way. That was pretty cool. Who else was in it? I'm forgetting somebody. I can't think. The Batmobile was great. You know, it's just a great. It's a very fun movie to watch. You know, you ain't got nothing to do on one of them stormy, rainy nights. You just pop that in. That's all I have to say.
Ed, why don't you tell us, where does he get those wonderful toys?
Toys. I don't know. He probably gets them. I don't know. I don't have a clever answer for that.
Acme.
Acme Toys. There you go. Perfect. Perfect.
Please believe it or not.
The star of this film obviously was Kim Basinger's scream. That was that's what she did in the movie. She screamed a lot. But Michael Keaton is Batman. He's the Christopher Reeve of Batmans. Okay. You know, he is, you know, that, and there'll be no discussion about which Joker was the better Joker. They're different Jokers. Jack Nicholson played a campy homage to Cesar Romero, but it was his own Joker. And people forget when Tim Burton did this film in '89, this was seen as a dark take on the films that were out there. That y'all remember the '80s were bright and bubbly and neon. You don't see any neon up in this joint. And I like that. Michael Keaton was so serious. We were at Joe Fest and saw a guy dressed in the Michael Keaton outfit. Me and Caveman saw him. Mm-hmm. And my God, we thought it was Michael Keaton. This guy had it down pat. But people forget Prince did the soundtrack, which still kicks total butt. And there's so many good songs in there. Caveman's his Party Man, I think. Mine's probably Bat Dance. It's a masterpiece, but a lot of good stuff on there. And I think that's all I got to say. It's a brilliant film. It is the film that all Batmans should be judged by. Next.
Digital, perhaps you could touch on why Tim Burton's gothic vision was so perfect for this.
First of all, I have to say, this may not be the first movie that I saw on opening night, but it was definitely the first movie that I had the date on the calendar circled and can still remember June 23rd, 1989. And I went to the theater, and it was a small theater, and it was cram-packed full. I went with my brother and my older cousin, and we were the only place we could find seats was all the way at the very front of the theater. So, our heads are craned way up, trying to, take in the spectacle of this movie. And my neck hurt after the movie was over, but the adrenaline from watching this movie kind of helped with that. But it's funny that you talk about Tim Burton's vision for Batman. This wasn't the first movie he directed, but it was very early on in his Hollywood career. And so the studio, was very, very involved in the day-to-day goings on during the production. So he was tempered somewhat by the studio. And then you take a look at Batman Returns, when the studio just let him have free reign, and he went a little too far on that one from what the studio wanted, at least. But
I don't think there's anything wrong with stuffing a bomb down a circus performer's pants and kicking them into a sewer.
That was pretty badass, though. Going into this movie, I didn't know what to expect from Michael Keaton as Batman, Bruce Wayne, because the only thing that I could remember him in up to this point was Mr. Mom. And I was like, how is this comedian going to play Batman? He's too small, but he pulled it off. And, Nicholson's Joker was fantastic. And, I think that's one of the biggest reasons this movie did so well. And the reason that Jack Nicholson made a shit ton of money off of it. And he did, because he took some upfront money, plus he got a take of the box office, and he got a take of the merchandise, and he probably got a take of some other stuff too. And one thing that they filmed, a lot of people don't know, and the only reason I know it is I collected, the little bubblegum cards, the movie cards that you used to get at the grocery store and stuff. They had the bubblegum in them.
Right.
They had series 1, which was basically, all the steals from the movie. And then they had series 2, which was more behind the scenes stuff. And one of the things that I wish that they had left in the movie is at the end, when the Joker's throwing out all the money, he's throwing out all these dollar bills.
Right.
It's counterfeit money with his face on it. Because if you remember earlier in the movie, when he's talking to Vicky Vale at the museum, he says he wants his face on the $1 bill. And well, he made that happen. And I really wish that they would have left that in the final cut of the movie, because I think it really, that it makes a point, I think. And I could talk probably a lot longer on this movie, but I'll let somebody else have the chance before I say everything about it.
All right. Ace?
Yeah, I agree with everything you guys got to say, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of, topping to the cake. Batman '89, I don't think it was the first Batman movie I saw, because I was born 1990, so I had a few years before I really saw the movie for what it was. But it still stands out to me as maybe not the best Batman movie they've ever done, but it's my favorite one because of the style, obviously the way it looked, but what it created in its wake with Batman the Animated Series, which was heavily influenced by this Tim Burton universe. And honestly, without this movie and without that cartoon, I don't think there would be multiple generations of Batman fans that there are now, because it really set the tone for what was before, or what came after it. I mean, because before, all you had was the Adam West Batman, and that had its audience, and it wasn't growing anywhere from that. And then once Tim Burton did this one and the next one, it created a whole generation of fans. That gothic, dirty, grimy look that we all, in a weird way, we all love to see it in movies and or a comic book. It puts us in that zone of, okay, there's really some dirty crime here and someone's about to get their, teeth kicked in. And we're all for that kind of Sin City vibe. And that's what I get with this Batman movie. I personally love Tim Burton. So I could just, praise it all day long. I do have a couple little bullet points I just want to mention. My favorite quote in any movie comes directly from this movie, and it's, do you want to dance, or have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? I just think for what Tim Burton was trying to convey of this, this gangster, and even though he got one line, it set the tone of, oh, okay, I see him as the Joker eventually within this movie. I mean, obviously that's the origin in this contained film, but it really is awesome. Pat Hingle, I think that's his last name. He is our second, live action version of a Commissioner Gordon, and he's one of the only threads from this movie into the to the later films. So I have a little bit of appreciation for that. And I think, I could be wrong, but I believe this is the first Batman movie until Batman and Robin with George Clooney, where the villain, his name is the headline name on the poster or the VHS as we were looking at right now, or whatever it is. Because I think after this, they started trying to cast a big name as Batman, opposed to, the perfect fit, which I think all of us, like Prophet said, Michael Keaton is like the perfect Bruce Wayne. He may not be big and imposing like we've come to learn and see in other iterations, but he really embodies that cool, can snap at a moment. Like, you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. And then when you see it was all part of his, plan to distract them, not so much his plan to fight them. He's a smart detective in that way too. And the last thing I have is, or last two things I have is the one scene when they kind of go hand in hand, the dark style of the movie, when the Joker is using the hand buzzer and electrocuting that guy to death. I think you mentioned it, it wasn't really looked at as dark at the time.
He's hot under the collar.
Yeah, and he's literally frying that guy until he is a burnt, crispy corpse. And the music they play, where it's like a striking violin chord, it's very eerie, it's dark, it's disturbing. Yeah. And I just think, if I know we're not comparing Jokers, but when Heath Ledger does the magic trick, I don't think that's anywhere as cool as when Joker makes his debut in '89 and electrocutes the mob boss to death and just proclaims his name as the new, crime lord. I think it's amazing. And then the makeup, the last thing I want to mention is that same scene where Joker, he obviously has his face painted as, Jack Nicholson with like the human colored skin. And then after he fries the guy, he wipes his forehead and you see the white paint underneath the skin. Mm-hmm. And that was a really cool makeup effect they did at the time, where they did a double paint effect, where they actually painted Jack Nicholson's face white, or at least in that, or no. I think they painted the back of his hand white or something along those lines. And then he kind of smeared it across his forehead to make that look like he was wiping the paint from his face, and it was actually underneath it the whole time. I might have got that a little mixed up on how it went, but it was a really cool effect the way they did it at the time. And other than that, like Digital said, we could talk about this one movie for the rest of the night with how much it means to us personally in box office, and just, culturally. It's iconic. It's iconic. And that's all I got to say.
Right. And I'll just add one thing, since no one else said it, is Danny Elfman's score is ridiculously iconic. And one more person left to talk about it. M3, I just got to know, are we going to try to love each other?
Hey, this panel needs an enema. Goodbye.
I'm going to
Definitely.
give this one over.
I'm
to
just
Rob.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
I'm going to give this
No,
one
I'm
over to-
quite regular, thank you.
Yeah, me too. Apparently.
All right, let
Okay.
Anthony talk.
I'm going to give this one over to Raw Talk Real Deal. He said Batman 89 June 23rd, 1989, my birthday, and continues to say, and now I'm designing Batman apparel, and continues to say my favorite superhero ever in DC, Harvey
Right.
Dent. As he continues to say Harvey Dent, he says, yes, sir. And he comes down to say, henchman Bob, you're my number one guy. But yeah, as come down to
Jack Palance.
Still,
Yeah.
Talk Still, he said he did it with a stiff neck too in Jordans also. Batman 66, Adam West. Coming down to last thing Rob Talk says, Val Kilmer was cooler. Okay, so as far as anything to do with this movie, and I liked it as well. Very good movie. That's all I got to say.
All right, Anthony. And before we move on, we will go ahead and just show that this movie got ranked S, obviously. But before we move on, Anthony, why don't you address the rest of the chat instead of just Raw?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Rob78 is here still. Geek Homeworld is still here, and he's on panel. Mark Cosplay is still here. What up, Mark? Ultra Liger is here. We got Robert Francois just jumped in. What's up, Robert Francois? Talking 1989 movies. Going up, Moto Viper, Mark Cosplay, and yeah, just people still here chilling out, talking good ones. Digital Caveman says this town needs an enema. I think Ultra Liger said that as well. Cool, you guys.
I'm black. Mark, what?
Nice. Yeah, and I think it was Ed that said, let's not forget Jack Palance.
Yeah.
Oh
Brilliant
yes.
actor. He was
Yeah.
great. And
Yeah,
Robert
really
Wool.
great,
Robert Wool was
addition
in
to the
there.
film. But yeah, obviously Batman S tier, and we're moving on. Next on the list, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, picked by Digital, Ed, and myself. Ed, why don't you start us off this time?
I'm just gonna make it really quick. Was it now? This was the first one, or is this the second one?
Yes,
This
the
is the
first
first
one.
one.
Yes.
Oh yeah. And probably my favorite character in this is George Carlin. George Carlin was so great in this, and just everything about this is great. I mean, if for decades this was my Keanu film until Matrix, or well, not decades, but you know what I mean, a decade at least. But it's still one of my favorite Keanu films. This film is just fun. And even the latest sequel they did a few years back, I enjoyed it. And there's like 3 of them now, I think, or whatever. But Bill and Ted's is just a fun movie, and it's great. I don't really have much more to say, so I want to pass it to somebody else. But it's a great film. I love it, and it's in my top 10 definitely.
Yeah, I'll say I have to disagree with you about the third one, about the newer one.
I liked
Only
it.
because it takes away the Wild Stallions from Bill and Ted and gives it to their daughters.
Well,
Like
we're
that
passing,
to me was kind of like, come on, man. Like
they're
at the end
passing
of
the
second
torch.
one, they show
No way, Mark.
that song "God Gave Rock and Roll to You" as the song that unified everybody. Performed by Kiss in the film.
Yeah.
And then in the last movie, they took it away from Bill and Ted and gave it to their children, and I'm like, come on, man, that's not what the first 2 movies said. They kind of contradicted themselves, and took the power away from them and gave it to somebody else, and didn't really appreciate that. But we're not talking about that movie. We're talking about this movie. And I have to say that I loved Socrates. I loved Billy the Kid. I thought Genghis Khan in the sporting goods store was amazing.
Yeah.
I love that Joan of Arc loves aerobics. And
Napoleon.
to quote Napoleon, I will say "Avec me, water slide," and I will pass it on to Digital.
Ice cream.
Can sum this movie up in one word, and that's whoa.
Excellent.
And it's a fun take
Perfect.
on time travel. The second big time travel movie we've got in this year, and no doubt because of the success of the first Back to the Future is more than likely why this one got made. But it's just a really funny take on it, and Rufus, excellent. And on that note, I just have to say, be excellent to each other.
Yeah, hey,
None-
do you remember
none
when
of
I
you
asked your
guys-
mom to prom?
Hey, none of you guys mentioned Tia Carrera.
Tia Carrera's not in this.
You're
she in a
getting this
sec-
confused with Wayne's World, dude.
Oh, Wayne's World.
I
yeah.
kept
Wayne's
doing the
World,
same
Wayne's
thing.
World.
Party
Party
time,
on.
excellent.
My
Yeah,
bad.
I think my favorite line in this whole film is, you remember when I asked your mom to prom?
Yeah.
You got to forgive Curtis. He was hanging out with Jim Morrison in the desert.
Right.
I was
But,
on a horse.
This
I was
movie
on a
was
horse
picked
with
by
no
three
name.
of us, and therefore it gets a rank of B. Next on the list, Driving Miss Daisy, picked by Ed. Ed, why don't you tell us all about Morgan Freeman driving around a crabby old woman?
Oh,
While he's doing that, I'll be right back.
Oh wow! It's so bad he had to leave the room.
Oh my
What
god.
a mistake.
No. I'm surprised I'm the only one to pick this. I thought Prophet would pick it too. It's
Yeah,
a
2 minutes.
beautiful film. It's a beautiful film. Morgan Freeman and just the relationship and it goes through the time of there's civil rights going on in America at this time and all that and you see these people that shouldn't be friends and they have a working relationship and you see their friendship grow. It's honestly it's one of my favorite oh gosh, what's his name? Dan Aykroyd films. I love him as Booley, go in there and charm the nurses. And Jessica Tandy was so graceful in this and grumpy as hell. And they just got a lot. You see two people from completely different worlds. And it's a film I think that resonates even in today, where we should, we can all get along together, even if we're totally different. We come from different backgrounds. I mean, look at our panel. We're all from different places but yeah, people can still get along and be friends and you can, do your job, but you can still find something deeper. And it's a beautiful story. It's just a wonderful story. And it's a brilliant film. And I think it won Academy Awards for Jessica Tandy and it may have been, I think, Picture of the Year at the Oscars that year, I believe. But it's a fantastic film.
Very nice. Yeah, Morgan Freeman is one of my favorite actors. And if I had I want to replace the generic GPS voice with Morgan Freeman's voice. Could you imagine that? Morgan
That'd be
Freeman
interesting.
telling you when to turn left? Like, that would be amazing.
I love it.
But Ed was the only one to pick this film, and so it gets a rank of D. Next on the list, one of M3's picks, Earth Girls Are Easy. M3, why don't you tell us just how easy Earth Girls are?
Well, they're easier. They're easier to watch than fucking Driving Miss Daisy. Good Lord, can that movie just fucking be dumped?
Wow.
Come on, talk about your movie.
Sure.
Wow, shots fired.
This is Gina Davis right here. This Gina Davis when it's
I'm
got
gonna run you over with my
Jim
car.
Carrey. It's got Jim Carrey, one of my favorite actors, Jeff Goldblum. They come to, and what's his name? One of the Wayans brothers, Marlon Wayans. They come
Damon.
down, they shave
Damon.
themselves, clean, and they interact with all the stuff that Gina Davis kind of takes them around and stuff. It's a good movie. There's not much I could say about it. You got some maybe no naked titties, but got enough good stuff to watch and keep me interested in this kind of film. That's all I gotta say. It's pretty good. If you haven't watched it, it's probably something you want to watch when you're high. Just something good entertainment. But it definitely made my top 10 list over some of the. It's funny it made my top 10 list over Back to the Future 2 because I really like that movie as well. But this one is a little bit more fun, a little bit more
Lame.
something that I like watching. Yeah.
Who's
Yeah,
all in it? Who's all?
Better than Driving Miss Daisy. I can't believe
No.
somebody picked that movie.
I'm surprised y'all did. That's
Oh
a
my god.
fantastic film, man. You have no culture.
That's all I gotta say for this great film. If
All
Ed's
right,
wrong,
well, and Julie Brown made that music video for this because I'm a blonde BLAND. Yeah, and I know that's spelled wrong. It was on purpose. M3, since you had nothing else to say about that one, why don't you take a little time to address the chat?
Yes.
But M3 is the only one that picked this movie, and I have to admit I do enjoy this film quite a bit, but it gets a rank of D. Go ahead and address the chat, M3.
Ultra Liger laughed at me talking shit on Miss Daisy. Moto Viper said gay. Ultra Liger said LOL. Ultra Liger, this movie, he said this is even gayer. Doug Smith said M3's mom is easy. Mark spit his drink. Rob 78 said, "Oh yeah, snap, funny movie." Robert Francois says, "There's certain movies I'd never watch and Driving Miss Daisy." Thank you, Robert.
Yeah, y'all are sad.
You're all a bunch of uncultured swine.
You are.
Damn.
That was great, chat. Good job.
Hey, but look, there's no scene in Driving Miss Daisy where Jim Carrey puts his snake-like tongue to the bottom of the glass and then every girl in the bar wants to take him home.
Moto said all the actors got paid $2K in an
Profit.
ounce.
That's in the director's cut of Driving Miss Daisy.
Oh, there you go. All right. Well, anyways, moving on.
That was actually
Next on
Riding
the
Miss
list.
Daisy.
I believe this is one of Curtis's picks, Field of Dreams, and this is that movie I was talking about that I wish I had more room for. But Curtis, I've built it, so come.
Great movie. I love baseball. I watch this with my grandpa. Enough said. That's an American way of life. You watch baseball with your grandpa. Great list, or great written book, I believe. Or was it a series of books? I can't remember. But it was really done well. It was you got Kevin Costner, these people come out of the field. I mean, they build a baseball diamond in the middle of a cornfield. So, and like these old White Sox ghosts come up and play around and stuff. It's great. You got to watch it. That's all I can say. I'm gonna let Prophet director take the rest of this one because I know he wanted to say something about it. So go ahead, Prophet.
Well, all I want to say about it is like I think it's a very touching moment in it when you realize that the he that they're talking about in the "if you build it, he will come" is his father.
Right.
And the fact that he gets to reconnect with his father is just priceless. It's an amazing movie. James Earl Jones absolutely kills it in this film. And I love the fact that his brother can't see it the entire time until the end of the film. And then once he can, he says, "You can never sell this farm." And I believe that the baseball diamond that they built for this movie is still standing there today.
Oh, it is. They use it every July. They have a game there, a Major League Baseball game on a Sunday night.
Yeah, absolutely great film.
Yeah.
And yeah, I wish I had more room on my list, but I did not, and only Curtis was able to pick this film, and therefore it gets a rank of D. Though, in my opinion, it should be a little higher. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Next on the list, Ghostbusters 2, picked by Ace and Curtis. Ace, are you afraid of ghosts?
I ain't afraid of no ghosts, but busting definitely makes me feel good, if I can say that here on the channel.
Yeah,
Ghostbusters 2,
especially with M3 here.
all right, perfect. Ghostbusters 2 in no way, I'm going to start my statement off, is no way as good as the very first Ghostbusters movie. That is a masterpiece, but I definitely think the sequel is a good addition to the Ghostbusters lore. You can watch this one without really feeling like it's connected to the first. You can, have it in its own little universe if you want. We just saw right there Rick Moranis on the screen. Who doesn't love Rick Moranis as Tully in any of the movies he's in? But Ghostbusters 2 is really awesome. It shows more monsters, or ghosts, if you want to even call them that. but not as, main screen. They're just kind of in like montage moments. Definitely my favorite scene is when they're in the courtroom with I think they call them the Scolari brothers. I think that was their name. And that's just a really fun scene because you got the Ghostbusters obviously on trial for putting the city at risk again, and getting sued and stuff like that. You've got the return of Sigourney Weaver, who is a huge star, obviously for her fame in the Alien franchise. So to have her come back solidified this movie as, a definitely a good sequel. And it just brings back all that, I air quote, a SNL style comedy of the time to this franchise. And it's a really good freaking movie. And we want He-Man. We want He-Man. So there you go.
Very nice. Curtis, why am I drippings with goo?
Now we know what happened, why New York turned out the way it did.
What?
You know how New York is right now? All
No,
up
not
in
really.
shambles and hatred.
A
and-
mess.
Oh,
Yeah.
because there's a river of angry slime flowing beneath it?
yeah,
Yeah.
who doesn't like pink slime?
We have that in Washington too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
I
was
will
a-
tell you who doesn't like the slime, and that was shit. What's his name?
Slimer?
Played Bankman.
Peter.
Peter Venkman.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
Bill Murray.
yeah. Bill Murray didn't like the slime. It was specifically in his contract that he was not to be slimed
And he got
in
slime.
Ghostbusters 2.
He-
Right.
That's
So,
cool.
Curtis, what have you got to say about the film that you picked?
Yeah. Second film, it was great. I watched it in the summertime. It was a nice summer night. Watched it, thought it was great. It's close. It's not as good as the first one because there was parts where it was just, to me, a little drawn out. But I wasn't a big fan of the head ghost in this one, but other than that, I like the movie. I like it a lot. I watch it all the time, probably 2 to 3 times a year. Anyway, it's a great family movie to watch with kids and stuff like that. So it's a good movie. He pretty much covered everything though to say about it.
Right. Well, and speaking of family, my favorite line in the whole film is when Sigourney Weaver asks him to put the baby down, and he says, "You're short, you're smelly, and you're a terrible burden on your poor, poor mother."
That
But
style
anyways,
of
this
humor.
movie was only picked by 2 people. Right there, the ghost is holding up the number of people that picked it, and therefore it gets a rank of C. Next movie on the list, Harlem Nights,
yes.
picked by 3 people with good taste: DC, Ed, and myself. I
didn't pick that one?
Start us off on Harlem Nights.
I thought I picked that
Wait,
one.
who's starting?
Digital, you go ahead and
Oh,
start.
I'm starting. Okay. This was a hilarious movie. I probably only watched it maybe 2 or 3 times since it has come out. But the part that always sticks with me is like the Red Fox and Delarice scene in the alley, and they're arguing, and she, you want to shoot off my pinky toe? Well, here it is, and then he shoots her pinky toe off. But a really, really good movie with Eddie Murphy, and the fact that he gets paired up with Richard Pryor in this, just 2 great black comedians. And then, Red Fox is in there too, who I only knew at that point as, Fred Sanford.
Red Fox is
And,
great, dude.
Out of this, Eddie Murphy's production company put Red Fox back on TV with Delarice in a sitcom, and then before the second season could get started is when he passed away. But this is a hilarious movie. Eddie Murphy at his height.
Very nice. Ed?
He, came in and just basically said everything I was going to say. It's a stellar cast. And I know Prophet's going to agree with this. This is probably Eddie Murphy's best movie. This is a film I could watch over and over. Every joke still lands. It's just incredibly funny. The pinky toe with Della Reese and Red Fox. That's probably one of my favorite scenes in it. It's wall to wall comedy. There's a nut. I know we've had this film on before, but Johnny Dangerously. I don't know why. Maybe because it's the gangster element of both or whatever. But I always put these two films together. I know they're different and all that, but those are both two films that I could watch, kind of like a Naked Gun film, from the beginning to the end and laugh my butt off the entire time. It's a great masterpiece comedy. It's Eddie Murphy at his best, in my opinion. And next.
Yeah, it's a very quotable movie. I love the scene where Della Reese is like, "Why you got to put the orange juice back in the fridge with just a swallow in it?" And Red Fox goes, "Well, swallow it and shut the fuck up." I thought that Arsenio Hall trying to get revenge on Quick through the movie was hilarious.
Oh yeah,
He just kept
Arsenio.
failing to kill him. Just amazing. When their madam friend is like, they're trying to seduce the driver for the mob, and he's like, "Oh, I got a girl that when she, the sun comes out." And then after the guy's with her, he gets on the phone with his wife. He says, "Yeah, honey, I ain't never coming home again." Right? But yeah, this movie's amazing front to back. The way they scam the mob, with the boxing match at the end. All I've got to say is, come, Friday, I'm knocking somebody the fuck out. Yeah, this movie's fucking amazing. And yes, it is Ed, you're correct. This is my absolute favorite Eddie Murphy movie of all time. Love it dearly. Will never turn it down from watching it. It's amazing. But only 3 of us agreed with that, so it gets a rank of B. Though, in my opinion, it should be S. But anyways, moving on. Next on the list, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Picked by Ace, Digital, M3, and Curtis. Ace, why don't you start us off on this one?
Just Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Was this Robert Zemeckis that directed this?
I think so.
I do believe so. Yeah. My daughter was watching this earlier before she fell asleep. This is just a great family fun movie. You don't have to overthink it, even though it does have this crazy, science behind it. It literally is just a throw it in, turn your brain off, and just enjoy all of it. I watched this when I was a kid, so it absolutely captivated me as like a ooh, ah type spectacle. Having Legos as a kid, I specifically remember when they're in the backyard, the kids that is, and they're shrunk down. They climb up inside of a Lego piece that's in the backyard. And I just always remember thinking, holy crap, could you imagine that? And I still think that, could you imagine being that small and yada, yada. And Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. It's just, it spanned out a franchise. It had a TV show at one point. Again, we get Rick Moranis, talked a little bit about him again, or a little bit with the Ghostbusters. And the neighbor, I don't know if anybody remembers the neighbor in this movie, but he always reminded me of a dollar store Jim Carrey. And that's really all I got to say about this fun film.
Yeah, the actor that played that neighbor was Max Headroom.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, I knew someone would remember who he was.
Matt.
Digital. Tell us how sad you were when Auntie died.
This is what I have to say about this movie. Again, it's a great family movie, a great Disney movie. Sequels, TV shows, and a 4D movie experience at Disney World.
Ooh, that'd have been fun.
It was a 3D thing, and it had where it's shoot water at you and blow air in the seat and stuff like that. And was that?
We don't speak of Disney.
I forgot.
What was that? What is
at
that?
the very beginning of it. The first wasn't the first Roger Rabbit.
The theatrical release for this movie had a Roger Rabbit short attached at the beginning of it.
Really?
Yeah.
But
I'd forgotten that.
yeah, I did too.
Wow.
And but this is Rick Moranis at his, the goofy height of Rick Moranis's stuff,
Yeah.
and so I that's all I got to say.
Curtis.
It was let's see. I rented it in the summertime. First time I saw it from on VHS, and I was watching my brothers. They're all quite younger than I am, and I was like 15. So went and got the movie. Went and got snacks and stuff, and me and my brothers just hung out. And it was because it was supposed to be a thunderstormy afternoon, so we just watched. We had so much fun. And that ant, man, the ant dying, that sucked. It did. It sucked, man. It was like, damn. That big ass tail thing. Scorpion tail stabbed him and shit, It's just crazy. Right. It's like, no. But it's a fun family movie. Yeah. I was in love with the girl. I was her age around that time.
Yeah.
I had a crush on the mom.
Yeah, the mom was hot too.
Yeah, I want to take a second to address something in the chat. Robert asked whatever became of Rick Moranis. Rick Moranis retired due to his wife having some health problems and having to, devote more time to his children.
Yeah, and he just came out of
That's what
retirement.
happened to Rick Moranis.
Yeah, Yeah, go ahead, Curtis.
Yeah, he just came out of retirement for play yoga.
Baseballs too. The search for more money.
Unfortunately, he was walking on the streets, I think, in New York City, and someone ran up to him and punched him in the face.
Yeah, I heard that.
There's an actual YouTube video, or I say YouTube video, but a security video or whatever of it on YouTube, and I think it kind of put him back into the recluse life, which is unfortunate because we all could use some more Rick Moranis.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's one more person to talk about this film. M3, why don't you tell us how upset you were that there were no upskirt shots of the mother in it?
It's really a shame. Really a shame. Even the teabag, when you stare up some guy's shorts. But no, I like it. Actually made my top 20. And when I gave Prophet my top 10 list, one of them was from '88, which was Heathers, and he was like, "Hey, that's an '88 movie." I was like, "Okay, I'll throw in Honey." Honey, I Shrunk the Kid came in by one of my others that I picked. So it was a good movie. I've only seen it the one time. It was one that he popped in, like Moto Viper suggested. He popped it in when for the kids, so him and his wife could go, play around in the bedroom for a little bit. Shout out Moto, that's cool. We also just had this movie, like it was in the VHS collection, and we pop it in for the kids, every once in a while. But I remember a lot of it, but not all of it. So it was good, and I remember no CGI, if that's correct, but it was all like
yeah, this was all practical.
Yeah, all practical. It was pretty cool.
Which is amazing.
That's all I got.
What just happened?
Ace fell off. He'll be back. I'm sure he'll be back.
Yeah.
This movie's a decent movie. I have to admit, though, the third one, the title is very misleading. Honey, I Blew Up the Baby. That could have been a disaster.
Hey, I think Ace is still here. Somebody shrunk him.
There you go.
Nice.
What are you talking about?
Picked it, so it gets a rank of A.
I'm looking and I don't see him on here.
Kurt,
I'm joking.
He's had internet troubles, and you don't have your magnifying glass out. So,
fucking Kurt.
You need a magnifying glass to find the Shrunken Ace or M3's junk.
Oh dear.
Any way you slice it. Moving on, the next film on the list, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, another film picked by absolutely everybody.
Wow, cool.
Let's go ahead and M3, you usually go last because you're addressing the chat. We're going to let you go first this time.
Thank you. This is another every single one, even the movies that you guys might not like with the alien skull or crystal skulls or the most recent Indiana Jones. All the Indiana Jones are really good watch for me. I really like he's in that 1950s, 1940s era. He's he's fucking awesome. And this movie right here with Sean Connery in there, I was like, oh my god, what a good pair to put Sean Connery with Han Solo. It was great. This is a good movie. I'll let anybody else keep going on it, but I liked all the way to the end when they got to choose the chalice. And Indiana Jones is very smart in his archaeological finds. He knows what to do. The note taking, perfect. Loved it. Great movie. And Elsa. That's all I got.
Yeah, see now, as you can see, my little icon there. Ironically, I put a Sean Connery head on a Harrison Ford figure's body to make a James Bond figure.
Perfect.
Which is kind of fun here. But yeah, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade is my second favorite indie movie. Raiders, I mean, nothing's ever going to top Raiders for me. But this movie's great. I think my favorite joke in the film is when they come up out of the sewer in the middle of that like cafe, outdoor cafe, and Indy says, Venice. Like, it's just great stuff. The Nazis are just fantastic villains. You are never going to do better in an Indiana Jones film for villains than Nazis.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know in the Crystal Skull, they tried to make the Russians, because of the Cold War and everything, but you can't top the Nazis. They're the ultimate villains, right? But yeah, this movie is an absolute masterpiece. And I'm going to go ahead and let Ed say his piece. Go ahead, Ed.
Yeah, you can't top Nazis even when they run the government. Sean Connery was great in this film. He's fantastic. This is probably next to Raiders. Raiders is perfect, but this is so very close to being perfect, this film. It's my favorite one to go back and watch and over again. We forget Indiana. Well, we don't forget, but Indiana was named after the dog, which is hilarious. When they threw that in, you thought it was some mystical thing. And he's named after the dog.
Yeah.
And I always love, and I can't do a Sean Connery accent, but when he calls him Junior, I love that. It's so funny to hear him. He's like, it's a great ensemble cast. I keep throwing around perfect trilogies. Well, they should have stopped at a trilogy. To me, I think Indiana Jones, the Raiders of the Lost Ark, what do you want to call it, is a trilogy. It's not, we kind of forget the Crystal Skull and the last one. We're not even going to talk about that. I've forgotten that. I put it out of my mind. But it's a great film. Who hasn't seen the Indiana Jones films and not loved everything about them? So that's all I got to say about it.
All right, Digital, let your armies be the rocks and the trees and the birds in the sky.
Yeah, again, like you guys said, this is my second favorite Indiana Jones movie, Raiders, of course, being the first. And, one of the great things about this movie is we got to see Marcus Brody come back. We got to see Sallah come back. And we got, Sean Connery thrown in there just for good measure. And again, the Nazis as the villains and hunting down some sort of Christian relic always seems to make the best Indiana Jones movies. The fact that, Sallah was fussing, or Indy was fussing at Sallah, the car got blown up and he come with all these camels. He's like, Sallah, no camel. I said no camels. Compensation for my brother's car. I love that line for some reason. It's just always increased the number of camels too. But fantastic pairing of Harrison Ford and Sean Connery. And I wish we had gotten at least one more movie with them paired together, but alas, it was not to be. And anybody else got something to say about?
there's still Curtis and Ace to go. Hopefully, Ace gets back soon. But Curtis, go ahead.
Yep, Sean Connery, Harrison Ford. What else can you say? Good movie. It was a fun movie, like most of your Indiana Jones movies.
Well, all right.
Yes, I said no camels.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of my favorite line from Marcus Brody in any of the indie films is in this one, when he's in the market in Cairo and he goes, "Oh, water, no, thank you. Fish make loving it."
Oh, yeah, forgot about that.
But Ace isn't back yet, but I'm sure Ace would have had some nice stuff to say about it. Perhaps John Williams' score, perhaps the fact that Elsa is easily the hottest of the indie girls. Yeah.
Smoking.
What else
Has
can
he
we
even
say?
showed up in the? He hasn't even showed up in the chat, huh?
No, well, Ace is he's got internet troubles, so we'll.
Well, I mean, I thought maybe on his phone he'd pop on there and be like, "Hey, I'm."
Well, hopefully he gets back soon.
Yeah.
But regardless, as this movie was picked by everybody, it gets a rank of S. Moving on, next film on the list, K9, picked by Digital. Digital, tell everybody why you're wrong about what the best cop dog movie is of the year.
You know, I don't even remember putting this on my list. But you know, James Belushi and a German Shepherd. I thought that was a great,
That wasn't me that put that on that list.
great pairing, and you know, just like Turner and Hooch, they didn't get along very well to begin with, but by the end of the movie, it was a little bit better. They acted a little bit more like partners, and
Oh my gosh!
it's a beautiful dog.
I have.
It's a
Oh,
great.
Ed O'Neill! I forgot he was in this.
Dutch.
Yeah.
But okay, that's
It's about all you've
that's
got
all
to
I have
say about that.
K9. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not
I
a bad
remember it
movie.
being funny.
Definitely not a bad movie, but
I thought I picked that one.
yeah, sorry you didn't, Curtis.
To Shepherd, man.
But hey, if you want to talk about it, go ahead.
It was great. It was funny. Just go on to the next one.
Well, all right. Since this was only picked by one, it gets a rank of D.
Yeah.
Next movie on the list, Lean on Me, picked by M3. M3, why don't you tell us like how you surprised us by picking one that we thought only Ed would pick?
I
Yeah.
almost picked it.
And Ed didn't pick it.
I almost did.
You know, interesting that I'm the only one that picked this. I was talking to my wife about it earlier, but first, if I can say shout out to Corey. Corey's my one of my best friends over in my local.
buddy.
Thanks for coming in, Corey. I appreciate that, man. But this movie right here. Wait a minute. That's not Stand By Me. Oh,
No, this is Lean on Me.
okay.
Lean on me.
Okay, so this is one of those M3 moments. I've never seen this movie. I thought it was Stand By Me.
Ah!
Oh, you idiot!
Fuck it, I've never seen it.
Oh my God,
That
that's
is an
hilarious.
M3 moment.
You just picked it because it's
Five
Morgan
kids,
Freeman.
they're walking
You
down
really
the
wanted to pick
railroad
Driving
track,
Miss Daisy.
Shit. That's what I thought this. I got it wrong. Sorry.
Now they call him the Batman.
Oh God, that's hilarious.
I
Yeah,
had a
that's
fri-
great.
I had a
No, this is
principal
a
that acted
movie
like
where Morgan Freeman goes in and cleans up a school that that's troubled.
Never seen it.
they should do a mashup of this and Driving Miss Daisy, and then M3 would watch it.
Oh, hey, ultra
All right,
light.
well, somebody needs Ed. Go ahead, man. So talk about this film.
Oh,
I'll be
I
back.
just remember literally like the year I was graduating high school, we got this new principal in, and he came in and he put the big old thing, the big book of the rule book down, and he told us he thought he was what was the character's name? Not Iron Joe. What did he call himself? Anyway, he carried the baseball bat, Morgan Freeman's character.
Batman.
Well, I don't know if he's Batman, but this is a great film. And musically, Ben E. King's song, no, that was Stand By Me. Damn it, you got me thinking of Stand By Me. That song came back, but Lean on Me, I don't know what I was going to say. Lean on Me. Oh, the song Lean on Me came back and became a hit in '89 because of this film. But this is a great film, and I challenge anybody to watch it. It's got some characters. It's about like later on you saw the Michelle Pfeiffer movie in the '90s that had Gangster's Paradise. I can't think of the name of it, but it it exists because of Lean on Me. It's basically the same story where he comes in there as a principal instead of a teacher. He comes in the principal, the worst school in that district, and and by the end of the film, he turns it around, and everybody's got a lot of pride. It's kind of like Sister Act, they turn the school around and all that, and so it's just a very uplifting story. And he's such a hard ass. Morgan Freeman's character there, but he encourages these kids to believe in themselves, and just because where you came from doesn't mean where you're going to end up. And so it's a really inspiring story. It's a great film. So that's all I got to say.
Right, and this movie did spark like a trend. Well, actually, I think the Edward James Olmos one came out the year before this.
That's a good point. That was a good film.
But and then whatchamacallit, Hugh G Reaction mentions The Principal with Jim Belushi, another movie in the same vein.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of weird that we're even talking about this, considering no one actually picked it.
That's an anomaly. I love it.
But because M3 didn't even bother to look at a movie poster,
Wow.
it gets a rank of D.
Hey, because I just knew right away.
I think the line out of it was they used to call me Crazy Joe, but now they call me Batman.
Something like that.
Right.
Still a
So,
great movie.
M3, why don't you, since you had nothing to say about this movie that you've never seen, why don't you address the chat instead?
Mark Cosway said, I watched this movie. It's very good, but I would never watch it again. I watch movies to escape, not to push me back into reality. Got it. Rotok said this movie was based on a true story in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Ultra said, so since M3 accidentally picked this, it's void of a rating, correct? I would say so. Hugh says the principal was Jim Belushi, Big Daddy Ken, Rotok, still here. Bull 80 laughed. Oh, and then we go to laugh, but shout out fucking Corey for being here. Thanks, Corey. Woo! That's great. Thanks for being here, Corey. And you guys, everybody in chat, thanks for fucking chiming in.
Yeah, the Lean on Me that was in this was not the original song Lean on Me from the 70s.
Right.
It was the updated one by Big Daddy Kane.
Club Nouveau.
Yeah, there you go. But moving on. Next on the list, we've got Lethal Weapon 2, picked by Ed and Curtis. Ed, Curtis isn't back yet, so why don't you talk about Lethal Weapon 2?
Yeah, Curtis is busy getting his lens flare adjusted right now, I imagine. Oh gosh, Lethal Weapon 2. Is this the one with the surfboard on there when they're on the highway that kind of comes off?
This is the one with the South Africans with diplomatic immunity.
Oh God, I want to come through that screen and get some people. That guy was a great villain, by the way. There's so much about this. Murtaugh and Riggs, one of the great buddy cop films. It was so over the top. That scene right there when they go in off the edge into the swimming pool doesn't seem like much by today's standards, but back then that was kind of like, oh my gosh, what's happening next? It's a great action film, and this part where you go eeny meeny miny mo, and he shoots the fish tank, and those are like the fishes, and Mel Gibson he's a brilliant actor. He's probably even better director, and so many great films. Still makes great films, and this is just too funny. This is a great addition to the series. The toilet there when it exploded. Yeah, that's funny. So I got to fill time, don't I, until Curtis gets back. It's really a great film. Anybody else want to talk about Lethal Weapon 2?
Well, I have to admit, like, this was probably one of the best Lethal Weapon movies, but I absolutely hated seeing that poor girl get drowned by the bad guys just for liking Mel Gibson's character. That's
yeah.
And this movie did introduce us to a new racial slur, but Danny Glover managed to take it back at the end of the movie, and when he shot the guy and said he's been decaffeinated.
Yeah.
But this movie's great, and if I had more room on my list, I would have picked it. Joe Pesci introduced in this film as Leo Getz. Whatever you need, Leo Getz.
Yes. Yeah.
Great character that stayed
Joe
with the
Pesci.
franchise till the end after this.
Yeah.
But yeah, Curtis isn't back, so we're gonna go ahead and move on. But 2 people did pick it, and it gets a rank of C.
Mm.
I would
Next
like to
on the
say
list.
before we move on, I don't know how in the hell I picked K9 and didn't pick Lethal Weapon 2.
Right.
Who knows, man? Maybe you guys were just rushing through, just like, oh, I like that one. Click.
Yeah.
Not me. I wrote
No,
I wrote 20 movies down and like strategically planned my fucking execution.
Did you though?
Yeah.
Lean on me.
Right?
Okay.
I'm
Oopsies.
not lying.
You know you want to put driving mistakes.
We're losing all credibility here.
Yeah, it's terrible.
No,
You
but
love
yeah, it is what it is. Yeah. So the next movie on the list, Look Who's Talking,
Oh God.
picked by Curtis.
Okay.
So yeah, now we are in a situation where we have to wait for Curtis.
You're
Curtis
redeeming-
left because he didn't mean to pick that. Didn't we have John Travolta in that film, or was that number 2?
No, yeah, this is John Travolta and Kirstie Alley,
Ted
Yeah,
Danson.
that was his comeback
with
movie.
Bruce Willis as the voice of the baby.
I'd forgotten that. Oh my gosh.
Oh, what's the one where they have? I thought it was the 3 dads. Ted Danson.
Ted
You're
Danson.
talking about
Ted
Ted
Tom
Danson,
Selleck.
Tom Selleck, and
See,
Three Men
it's
and a
all that
Baby.
Bud Light and
Bird.
3 just makes them all bleed together for you.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. That's Mandela.
But yeah, this is well, it's only a Mandela effect if it's widespread, if multiple people believe it.
Hey, Mark Cosplay said he can take over Profit for Curtis.
Right. It's unfortunately Curtis is the only one that would be able to let you in, Mark.
That's right. You'd have to get in his brain and see what he's thinking.
No, Mark Cosplay does an amazing Curtis impression.
Oh, does he?
He does, yes. I mean, this movie wasn't terrible. Like, definitely wasn't going to make my list. I'm not a fan of Kirstie Alley. And I'm kind of actually not a fan of John Travolta either.
He's
And
great. And
I
phenomenal.
guess now that we think about it, I'm not really much of a Bruce Willis fan. At least
What?
not now. Not now. Like, come on, you got to admit the last 10 movies he's been in, he phoned it in. Curtis is back. Curtis
Curtis
go
is
ahead
back.
and talk about why you like talking babies.
Because it was funny. It was John Travolta, Kirstie Alley at the time. It was really funny. I watch it every once in a great while if you're flipping through the channel. But at the time, it was a pretty good movie that the family watched.
I think Aces is here, Kurt.
No,
Okay.
Yeah, I would imagine like this is a movie that it's easier to like if you're a parent. Because you probably spend a lot of time wondering what it is your babies are actually thinking. But
Roseanne Barr was in it.
I think that was
No, she was in 2. She was in 2.
yeah, wasn't she the voice of the other baby?
Yeah, the girl.
Right. Anything else to say about it, Curtis?
No, it was just a really fun movie.
Well, all right. Yeah, Curtis was the only one to pick this, so it gets a rank of D. Next on the list, Major League.
That was
Picked
a
by
funny
M3 and myself. I'll go ahead and go first. This movie is magnificent. Incidentally, Wesley Snipes was not a baseball player. And he had to do a lot of practicing to learn how to pop the ball up like that every time. Charlie Sheen, arguably one of his best roles, probably only better role is Platoon. I think the things we could take away from this is Joe Booth cannot help you with a curveball. But yeah, this movie, one of my favorite baseball movies of all time. Tom Berenger and Rene Russo's relationship in this film is fantastic. And their boss, the woman, like I remember when they put the cutout of her and they were peeling pieces off of it. I was like just in the audience thinking, I hope they keep winning because I want to see that without, I want to see what's under those things.
Yes.
Yeah, this movie is absolutely great. M3, go ahead, man.
Just a bit outside. This cast was great. And you're right. That part right there that they're showing right now where each individual part gets taken off until she's not completely nude. She's got a bikini on, which is kind of a disappointment, but that's fine. Charlie Sheen's haircut was my inspiration at that time in 1989, was eighth grade. And I was cutting my hair and shaving. I was doing a lot of my friends' haircuts and shaving lines in them and fucking doing some funky stuff. So I got to play around with some haircuts. And when I saw Charlie Sheen with that hair, I did it to mine. It was fucking cool. Good fun movie. Baseball is not my favorite sport, but it is this movie right here is good. And better to watch one of these movies than like Field of Dreams or any of those fucking other ones. Which
Fuck you.
Right. No drama, okay? I like more comedy for baseball. If I'm gonna be watching, it's good. But yeah, shout out to this movie. Good job.
Yeah, really, really great movie. This made my list and Field of Dreams didn't. So as much as I liked Field of Dreams, I did think this was more entertaining. But yeah, only M3 and I picked it, and therefore it gets a rank of C. Next movie on the list, I'm hoping it's not an ace pick. Let's see. We're looking at Christmas Vacation, picked by Digital and Curtis. And I will admit, the only reason I didn't put this on my list, because it should have made my list, was because it made my Christmas list.
Right.
So
Lies.
it already has an S rank somewhere else. So I
Right.
wanted to help something else.
Right.
But Curtis, go ahead and start us off on Christmas Vacation.
Christmas Vacation, the third film in the franchise, and I watch it. I've already watched it this month, but it's a great comedy. It's the National Lampoon. It's Chevy Chase and what's his name? Her name, his wife. The kids start changing up in this movie. And you got Malecki or whatever his name is, that plays the son who ended up playing on Roseanne and Big Bang Theory. The sister, she was hot at that time. But yeah, it's the whole, family. You invite the entire family from both sides and everything goes wrong. It's a great movie. I'm sure everybody here has seen this. So go ahead, Ed.
No, it's not Ed. It's Digital. Digital, go ahead and
Oh,
tell us
Digital,
about
I'm
your
sorry.
Jelly of the
Yeah,
Month Club subscription.
We look alike, so
I thought he said Ed. My bad.
Yeah, I almost didn't pick this one because it made my Christmas list also, but then I was like, well, it did come out in '89, so
Yep. That's
I need to pick it just in case nobody else picked it. And a few years ago, I introduced my son to this movie, and he just fell in love with it. He makes sure that we watch it
What are you doing?
every year at Christmas because he just loves it that much. And shitter's full. Other than that, I think I said everything during the Christmas special.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I want my damn bonus.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you'll take your Jelly of the Month Club subscription and be happy.
No, I want some money, damn it. I want a real bonus, not no jelly of the month shit.
I want a pool.
I want to grow
Right,
my
yeah, this movie is absolutely fantastic, though. Again, like I said, if it hadn't been in my Christmas list, it would have made my list here.
Oh,
But for '89, it only gets a rank of C. Next on the list, Pet Cemetery, picked by Ace and M3. And Ace isn't back yet, so M3, tell us why you like Undead Children.
because he's good.
Hey, good gosh, this movie was damn epic in my opinion. I can't believe just being on an near an Indian burial ground where certain ritualistic things took place, and the dirt was just soiled and bad. This guy moves his family to this place, and
Curtis, Ace is back,
and
Where?
his,
backstage.
I'm looking backstage. I don't see him.
he just popped up in the private chat.
Down.
Where is he though?
Maybe he's at the bottom. Scroll down. Your screen.
No, like Digital is the last person.
I believe I'm officially back. He said
I don't see him though.
maybe he popped back out. You may have to.
All right. Ace, pop back in and out while M3's talking, and hopefully we'll be able to get you back in by the time he's done.
So so this guy moves his family out there, and just real quick, you have your child die at that young an age. I can't even believe what your brain would be thinking. And if you weren't entangled into like knowing like Jesus Christ and what really happens when you die, and that there's a reason, you could take your dead child to this place and bury him in hopes that you could see him and look at him one more time, or her, you know. So this movie was like really cool. When Church was a badass cat, dude, and the whole thing ended up being like a Chucky at the end, you know, the kid like comes back, start killing stuff like that. So, but as far as like the concept, cool. And I have not watched the new reboot of this movie yet. I kind of want to, but then this one is just fine. So if anybody hasn't seen Pet Sematary yet, it's definitely a horror film. Curtis, we've never in Halloween Bangers, we've never really talked about Pet Sematary. We might have hit on it, but we never had it like as
It's because it completely sucked. Nobody wanted to.
so, yeah, a lot of people,
I'm just kidding.
it's great. Good,
Yeah.
no, it's a good concept. I like this movie. I've only seen it twice.
Yeah, we need to do that for Halloween Bangers.
Mhm.
Or a backstage, I mean, you know.
And can I add something to that?
Sure.
Okay. I hope they got a really, really good deal on that house, because when you have a child that small, you generally don't buy a house that close to a busy highway. Just saying.
Stephen King knows his stuff.
Also, Tasha Yar is a bad mother. She couldn't even keep her child safe, and she was in charge of security.
Right. She's actually a better zombie in this film than a mother.
This is a great comedy.
Hilarious. Absolutely. It looks like we still don't have Ace back.
Yeah.
Oh, we got something in the
Curtis
chat.
couldn't find him.
He's sorry.
Yeah, I'm looking. I've had this whole thing open the entire time.
Who is the Sarge? Is back there.
Well, the Sarge is Curtis.
Oh, sorry. Oopsies.
But
He was
well,
too
you know, if
distracted
Ace
by
pops
the
back
lens
up,
flare.
we'll let him back up and talk about Pet Sematary.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, his vote still counts and gets a rank of C. Moving on, the next film on the list, See No Evil, Hear No Evil. And for some reason, M3 thought this was better than other stuff this year. M3, go ahead and tell us what you liked about this movie.
I can't even believe how funny this movie fucking is. Me and Marky watched this movie. It's fucking hilarious, dude. You're black. Does Dad know? God, dude. These two as a pair, from the time they fucking spawned the first movie that they did together, which I'm guessing was Stir Crazy. That you know, they're both great people to fucking mix together. The concept of this movie was fantastic. The girl that they put in there, what's his name? From Kevin Spacey's in it. Shout out Kevin Spacey. The comedy, the cast, Harvey Wallbanger, all these things are just flooding into my mind. Didn't really have any one thing said, but it flowed perfectly. It was a perfect movie for how it laid everything out. Great film. Loved it. Moto Viper says, Men on Film, 3 snaps, a twist, and a kiss from me. It's my number one from 1989. My number one movie, because it makes me fucking laugh, dude.
Well, all right. Well, yeah, go ahead and just address the chat, M3.
Oh yes. Actually, my friend Corey said not in order, but Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Gleaming the Q, Rain Man, All Dogs Go to Heaven, and Tequila Sunrise were in not any order, but his favorite. Moto Viper says these guys were great together. Moto Viper fucking hilarious. Corey says Hear No Evil, Speak No Evil. Yes, Hear No Evil, Speak No Evil. Great movie. Wait. Oh, and Hugh says Stephen King knows stuff back up when. Yeah, so Hugh's still here. Doug Smith still here. Pop the Trunk came in. What up, Pop the Trunk? He says Prophet, Kurt, Digital, Doug. Hugh's first time here, so Hugh, keep coming back, man. If you like movies and stuff and all that kind of stuff, it's once a month, but it's good stuff, man. Ultra Liger's still here.
It's
Cool.
like the rent. We show up whether you want us to or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I was doing the show every couple of weeks, but it just got to be too much work to keep up with.
Yeah. Old school. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a woman. Yes. Ultra says, I know I've seen this movie before, but I can't remember anything from it. Might need to check it out again. Oh, wait. Wasn't the girl that was in it no holds barred in this and topless? Yeah, she's definitely topless. She's in the shower. She's reaching for a towel with her eyes closed. And that's a great scene, too. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, now we know why it made M3's list. There was a topless girl in it.
Yes.
But anyways, moving on. Next movie on the list, Steel Magnolias. Now this was another one, much like Field of Dreams, that I wish I had a little more room for, because if a movie hits me in that emotional chord, I absolutely love it. But I just didn't have room. But Ed, why don't you tell us why you love to cry?
Look in the mirror. No. No. This is Real Men like this movie, by the way. It's got a great cast in it. It's funny to watch Splash. Help me out.
Daryl Hannah.
Daryl Hannah. To watch her transformation as a character, and you watch, of course, this is when Julia Roberts was at her prime. This was around the same year as Pretty Woman, or right before
89.
89, yeah. Pretty Woman was 89, I think. Yeah. So it was it's a sad story. And that part with Sally Field, y'all probably agree, when she breaks down at her daughter's spoiler alert, when she dies. Yeah, I know. It's one of the best Sally Field performances. She probably should have gotten an Oscar for that, because that will break your heart every time. If you follow these characters, you get so invested in them. Dolly Parton's a trip throughout this movie. She is just wonderful, and she's kind of quirky and everything, but and Olympia Dukakis is great. She has that famous saying from this film. She says, if you don't have something nice, come sit next to me, which is hilarious. But who's the real quirky one? Prophet, you probably know the name. She was in Terms of Endearment, but she's real grumpy in the whole film.
Shirley MacLaine.
Thank you, Shirley MacLaine. She's kind of out there anyway, or was. But it's good to see a transformation.
She's right there hugging Olympia Dukakis on the cover.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what a stellar cast. This was probably the equivalent of the Brat Pack in a film, but with ladies. It was like Stand By Me, that stellar cast. It was kind of like, in the 80s, they put a lot of these great actors or actresses together. And this is just it's a beautiful, touching film. And it's about family, and it's about relationships and friendships and people that are so different getting along, and just people growing. So it's a great film. Go. That's all I got.
Right. And now anyone who was curious knows what Tom Skerritt did after Top Gun. Digital, go ahead.
I think Ed about covered it all. Really all he left me to say was what a stellar cast, high drama, and a tearjerker. And Dolly Parton was great in it. But I think Ed said that too.
Yeah.
So just say everything, asshole.
Everything. Well, you got to cut me off. I'd go
Sally Field, just
it's very, very. If you don't want to be sad, don't watch this movie.
Exactly.
Right. Because this movie will make you cry.
Prophet, can I say one thing about this movie? All these women are just way too old.
They're what?
Way too old.
This was 89, bro.
Way too old.
Yeah. Way too old for what?
Dude, there's Julia Roberts and Daryl Hannah right there in their prime.
Julia Roberts was like in her 20s.
Dolly Parton was too old.
No, she was like in her 50s.
Like Bo is going to.
She was not in her 50s.
Yeah,
not in the 89.
Bo wants to eat that ass.
Anyways, two people picked it. Had I had more room, it might have gotten higher, but it gets a rank of C. Next on the list, Tango and Cash. This was picked by Ace, but Ace is not back yet.
Nope.
does anybody want to have say anything about Kurt Russell and Stallone naked in the shower together before we move on?
Obviously, M3. Go
Wait,
ahead.
Kurt's all over this one. Kurt just
No,
got
I didn't even watch this movie.
Kurt's leaking.
I will.
What is
I
this?
will say this: the reason I don't think there was a sequel to this, I think there was some behind the scenes issues between Stallone and Russell, which is a shame because on screen I think they had pretty good chemistry.
Yeah, two very large egos.
Yeah. Well, probably Stallone had the bigger ego, I think.
Well, to quote the film, "Why is yours bigger than mine?" Genetics. Yeah, unfortunately, Ace is having internet issues and is not back yet. But Ace did pick this film. It is a good film. This was the era of buddy cop movies.
Yeah.
I'm sure if Moto was on, Moto would have lots of nice things to say about this movie. I believe Moto likes this movie a lot.
It's a good film. I've seen it.
But yeah, Ace isn't here, so we're just gonna go ahead and move on and say Tango and Cash, rank D. Moving on. Next film on the list, The Burbs. This was one of Curtis's picks.
Nice.
So Curtis, talk about Tom Hanks being your neighbor.
This was such a funny movie. I still watch this several times a year. You got Tom Hanks, you got Carrie Fisher, you got a bunch of other people that you would notice from that time frame. Was it one of the Coreys? And I always get their names mixed up. Was it Feldman? Corey Feldman or Corey Haim?
I can't remember.
Yeah,
Corey Haim. That was Corey Haim.
Yeah, Corey Haim. Okay. So, like, basically, these new people move into this old house. Well, it looks old. Every other house looks like it's brand new, like it's a brand new neighborhood, right? And then they think that these new people are doing something because one of them sees them pull out a, what do you call it, like a bag with a body in it or something, or it looks like that. So then Tom Hanks's other neighbors like all into it, and they're like sneaking around, breaking into the house, basically, and all kinds of
it's
stuff.
Feldman, not Haim. That's
Yeah,
Feldman.
Feldman.
Okay.
Like I said, Feldman.
So yeah, like it's just like they're trying to figure out if they were doing something. Oh, somebody was just in the back, and it went right back out. That must have been Ace. But yeah, it's just one of those movies where they're trying to figure out, and everything is funny, so everything goes wrong. It's great. It's just stupid little things. It's hilarious. It's a good movie. That's all I gotta say about it.
Yeah, I remember enjoying it when it came out, but I have to admit I don't really remember much of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Curtis picked it, and therefore it gets a rank of D. Next movie on the list, one of the best of the year, picked by myself and Ed, War of the Roses. So this is the third movie that Kathleen Turner, Michael Douglas, and Danny DeVito did together. It's the story of a couple that wind up absolutely hating each other. And Danny DeVito is their divorce lawyer. And the premise of the film is Danny DeVito is telling their story to potential clients to try and encourage them to work things out, because divorce can be murder. Lots of amazing bits in this movie, in particular when Kathleen Turner's throwing a party and Michael Douglas is ruining her party on purpose. It's Kathleen Turner, just amazing, beautiful woman. This may be Danny DeVito's like one of his best performances. The scene in particular where he had quit smoking and he has in a glass case a cigarette that represents, him having quit, and the cigarette was in that case for 10 years. And these two in their divorce made him break open that case and smoke that cigarette. But while there's still some trailer running, Ed, why don't you take over?
Oh my gosh, this is it's good to know that me and Prophet have the best views of films. 'Cause this is a brilliant film, and like you said, what a stellar cast. And this reminds me of Home Alone, but if it were put up for people that divorce against each other, because they're going through the nastiest of divorces. If you've ever been through a divorce, this movie will break your heart, and you'll probably side with either one of them. I don't know which one, depending on your situation. And yeah, it's spoiler, so I'm going to call spoiler alert, but just cover your ears. But the part in the end where they're on the chandelier, you almost think they're going to pull it together, and they don't. And it's such a dark film, especially for the 80s, but it's a dark film overall. And it just talks about the perils and the pitfalls, how couples can go from, oh, you fall in love and everything is wonderful and wine and roses and everything is beautiful, and how over time you can become mortal enemies. And it strikes home for a lot of people. And for me, Kathleen Turner and Michael Douglas and DeVito, this is probably could be my favorite performance of all three of them. And Prophet talked a lot about it. Like the cigarette thing is so important, and there's so many references to things in this film. It's really deep, and it's really, you really feel kind of scarred, like you went through this divorce, you went from the good times to the bad times to the horrible times. And I know they're trying to do a remake of this called The Roses. It's one of those films you can't redo. You'll never do better than this original. And if you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor and watch it. It's a brilliant film.
It is spectacular. And the whole thing is, like, it probably wouldn't have gone so bad for them if one of them had just been big enough to move out. But instead, They literally drew a line through the center of their house with tape, because neither was willing to concede anything. It's the thing is, if you want a happy marriage, you can't let your ego dictate things. Marriage is about compromise on both sides and working together. Mm-hmm. And I have to admit, this movie is part of the reason I never got married.
Jeez.
But it's a fantastic film. Definitely watch it as a cautionary tale, if nothing else. But because only Ed and I have great taste, it's got a rank of C. Next on the list, the superior cop dog movie of the year, the one that I'm absolutely sure that I picked. This movie here was the very first movie that made me cry. Spoiler alert, Hooch, the dog that starts out as a real burden on him, who becomes his absolute best friend that he loves dearly, takes a bullet for him and doesn't make it. And it's just, basically Tom Hanks is friends with a guy who runs a junkyard, and Hooch is the junkyard guy's dog. And the junkyard guy gets murdered, and Tom Hanks takes the dog in because, well, the dog is a witness. Right? So this isn't like the police pad him up like with Jim Belushi and Jerry Lee. This is they're put together by circumstances beyond their control, and they wind up, being amazing friends together. And by the end of this film, you absolutely love this dog, and you're completely heartbroken when the dog doesn't make it. There's a little catharsis because the dog did hook up with his girlfriend's dog, and there were little Hooch puppies by the end. But it wasn't enough to stop the waterworks from flowing for me, because Hooch getting killed was just heartbreaking.
Robert.
But yeah, this was the first movie in my life that ever made me cry. And it figures that I would cry over a dog before I'd cry over humans. And that probably says something about me as a person, but who knows? But yeah, I absolutely love this film. I think it's the best cop dog movie ever made. And, you know, clearly others don't agree with me, but at the end of the day, they're wrong, and that's all there is to it.
There you go.
But because I'm the only one that thinks that way, it gets a rank of D. Moving on. Next movie on the list is Uncle Buck, picked by Ace, M3, and Curtis. Curtis, why don't you start us off on Uncle Buck?
Uncle Buck, John Candy, gets asked to watch his nieces and nephews, but they don't really want him to because he's kind of in their mind, a loser. But he really teaches them and cares for them, and everything comes out in the end. Next person.
Well, all right. M3, go ahead and take over.
Hey, John Candy, bless that man. He's funny, very, very charismatic. When he comes into these films, you know, and it does what he does, I'm a fan of his. I'm surprised he didn't make it to be a Ghostbuster. But Macaulay Culkin in this, only because I'm seeing him, and the girl that's the older sister has a really big problem with him at first, but then realizes he's just he's a normal person, and wait till you're my age, girl. Like, you're gonna see life as how it is. And his big old burrito of a fucking car, dude, sick. But other than that, like, I've watched this movie I think twice in my life. Oh yeah, and what's her name from Roseanne? She's a nutcase. She's all over. She wants.
Oh yeah, the sister. Yeah.
Dude, great.
Moly.
I'm only going off of my memory from watching this excerpt right here and how it goes. But my good friend Fernando's wife loves Uncle Buck. She could do all the one lines. Corey, if you're still here, it's Sarah, dude. Or I said Fernando, so you already know. But yeah,
that's how they got Home Alone, just because how he did it in this.
Yeah. So good film. If you haven't seen it, if you want to laugh, but then I know Ed and Prophet like to cry, but this one will make you laugh. So it's a good.
Oh, that's funny. We all like to cry together.
With your great taste in movies.
I have great taste, thank you, and I defend it. As do you.
Hell yeah, Robert. Hell yeah.
You should
hey, man,
see his porn. You should see
we'll
his
take
porn
whatever
collection.
ammunition we can bring to the fight.
Good movie. Thank you.
And hey, let's not forget Phil Hartman, the late Phil Hartman.
Oh
yeah.
gosh, I forgot that.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
and don't forget, you know, that great taste in movies is they're talking about their porn collection.
Uncle Buck. I've seen
Right.
it.
I'm telling your
No,
wife.
but I will admit this is one of John Candy's best in my opinion. But still only picked by 3, so gets a rank of B. That's actually not bad for this list. You can see,
Dude, he was
it's in the
making
top
them
10 for
giant.
the year.
He was making them giant pancakes.
Now, there's only one movie left in this year's list, and it's an Ace pick. So I guess since Ace isn't here, we'll all just say what we remember about it in Ace's place.
Ace's place.
But it's Who's Harry Crumb?
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead. M3, you said it's great. Why don't you start us off?
Okay, he's a writer, and who's Harry Crumb? He's a writer, but he's kind of like trying to find his way into writing, I believe, what might be his first book. So he's the one doing it. And the only scene that I could really remember is when somebody cuts the brake lines on his car and he's going down. And another John Candy flick, but this one right here, I couldn't.
Oh, look.
Yeah, what's his name? Prophet's favorite.
Yeah.
Hey, don't call that Pedo my favorite.
It's basically what was the name of the Prophet director? What was the name of the what was the name of the woman who did the series on TV that you watched probably every night or every Wednesday night? Angela Lansbury.
Murder She Wrote.
That's where this kind of reminds me of, and then Clue and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Austin Powers with all the characters that this guy could do and shit. Pretty good flick.
Yeah, I kind of view this movie as Fat Fletch.
That's well,
That's apt
it is
analogy
Yeah.
there.
unfortunate.
So Digital, go ahead.
Yeah,
and say your piece.
I don't remember. I don't remember it quite the way M3 does. I remember him being a detective in like a detective agency, a big detective agency, not a writer.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe it was a detective thing.
Oh, he wasn't writing a book?
No, I think he was a detective. He was like the head of a big detective agency.
Like,
So you're saying M3 is wrong? Oh,
I'm always
interesting.
wrong.
I'm
This
just
is-
saying he's confused.
Yeah, I agree.
Except with Steel Magnolias.
he was a
and-
private detective. That's
Steel
what it was.
Magnolias, I'll die on that hill.
Private detective.
Private Dick. Hey,
Still, given if I had to pick any like my favorite John Candy movie, it wouldn't be this one though. It would be Great
I don't even
Outdoors.
feel like I did 9 movies.
Ace just messaged me. He said he had his internet went out on him,
oh,
Okay.
and he
Oh,
apologizes. But I told him it's not that big a deal.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
Ed, anything to add about Harry Crumb?
Not much. I love John Candy movies. Any movie he was in was hilarious. He was like, help me out. Not Step Brothers, but the one where, oh damn,
He
where
was in
spills-
Stripes.
Well, yeah. But he reminds me of that comedian lives the van by the river.
Oh,
Chris Farley. Yeah.
He kind of reminds me of a Chris Farley.
I
in
think
a
you
way.
should flip flop that because he's the
Yeah, 'cause he
original.
came
Chris
first.
He's the
Farley is
original.
copy.
yeah.
That's you're correct. You're correct.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember this
That's
watching it and thinking it was hilarious. I've only probably seen it a couple times though, but y'all pretty much covered what there is about this movie. It's a fun movie. It's not my favorite, like Caveman said, it's not my favorite John Candy film, but it is a funny film. It's worth watching if you want a good laugh.
Yeah. It's not my
Right,
favorite.
right. Curtis, anything to add?
Yeah, it's not my favorite John Candy film neither, but it is watchable over, every once in a while. I seen it sometime this year. Uncle Buck though, I saw like a bunch of times already. It's been on cable for some reason. But yeah, this was it was funny, but it wasn't his funniest, that's for sure. It was like maybe one of his lower mid-tier funnies, I'd say. Anybody
Right.
agree?
I mean, I could name a bunch of John Candy movies better than this one. The Great Outdoors,
Right.
Stripes.
Yeah.
Well, the one right before this, Uncle Buck, far
Uncle
superior.
Buck, yeah.
But I could also name worse John Candy movies like Nothing But Trouble. Ugh, God, what a horrible film.
What are you talking about? You didn't love it?
Dude, watching Dan Aykroyd with that terrifying makeup eat that bratwurst gave me nightmares for weeks.
It was so gross looking.
Absolutely disgusting.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, I think Chevy Chase did this premise better. But it did get picked, and therefore it gets a rank of D. Ace, sorry your internet went out and you couldn't be on to talk about it.
Canadian Bacon, I thought was better.
But that's our breakdown for the night, guys.
Well, it's interesting. We
Two new
disagreed
movies
on a
added
lot.
to the S rank, Batman and Indiana Jones. Both will now be eligible for the 80s decade episode. A lot of good stuff on here. Like I said, even if it's a ranked D movie, it was still in someone's top 10, so it's not a bad film.
Like Driving Miss Daisy.
Lean on Me, I actually do believe deserves to be on somebody's top 10, even though it was here by mistake. But yeah, that's our list, folks.
Yeah.
So anyone have anything else they want to add before we call it a day on the on 1989?
Yeah, I'm gonna. I put the link in the chat, and I think we'll stay on live for a little bit. If you guys feel like doing that,
I do. I can stay for a while, for a little bit.
Yep. It's time for the free for all. So anyone who wants to join us on screen and add their own 2 cents about any of the films we talked about tonight, jump on in. Now's your chance.
Hey, Prophet, real quick. Yeah, Aces, man. Totally sorry your internet bummed out, bro. It sucks, man. I was hoping that you could make it to the end.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, Ace. If it came to my turn, I made a note here to make sure that I gave you some of my time in case you were able to come back, so you could talk about Indiana Jones and some of your other films. So we missed you not being here the whole time.
Yeah,
but we appreciated you while you were here.
Yes, we understand.
Yeah,
a lot of us had. Well, some
That's
of us.
happened to all of us.
One of us has technical difficulties a lot, so we understand.
Who are we talking about?
I'm not gonna call any names, Ed.
You don't want to make me angry as your what up? You don't want to?
Well, M3, if you want to address the chat while we're waiting to see if anyone wants to join us.
Yes. Mark Cosplay said, "Dang, Ed, haha. You don't want to make me angry." Said, "Do excellent review, guys. A good one." Corey said, "Leviathan was a good '89 movie." Yes, Corey. That was on my. It's in my top 20. I think it was written down. I believe it was written down. Ultra Liger said, "I've got work in the morning, so I'll catch y'all on the flippy flip later." Ultra, see you at Kaz, bro. He said, "Fun show too. That's great, man." Moto Viper, I think we were talking porn because Doug Smith said, "What? Porno?" That's great. Hey, and Ultra Liger said, "Why is No Holds Barred on this list?" No Holds Barred.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I don't know.
That was the worst movie ever.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I kind of hate No Holds Barred because, like, I didn't think the movie was terrible, but I hated the impact it had on the actual WWF after the movie, because they tried to bring in Tiny Zeus Lester as a real wrestler after that.
Yep, it was bad.
But
And
they have one thing to say
good.
about No Holds Barred, and that's what's that smell? That was the funniest part in the whole damn movie. And the little guy shitting his pants.
Right. Corey, about you like Leviathan. I agree. Leviathan was a solid film. But that was one of the, they had this trend that they used to do back then. Whenever one studio would make a movie, other studios would make a bunch of shit to try and, compete with it. Like, for example, that 89, we did, it wasn't just The Abyss and Leviathan. We also got Deep Star 6 and, like, a whole bunch of,
a
like,
lot of direct to
ocean
video.
movies.
Yeah.
We got Volcano and Dante's Peak in the same year. And,
Yeah.
Pierce Brosnan.
it was just one
Pierce
of those
Brosnan,
things they
yeah.
used to do back in the day. Studios always felt like they need to compete with each other.
Mhm.
Well, yeah. Remember when Star Wars came out? All that stupid shit that came out after that, trying to copy.
Oh, did you hear that, Ed? He just called Battlestar Galactica stupid.
Well, he's an idiot.
Battlestar was good. Battlestar was good. I was a fan of Battlestar.
Who are we talking about now?
No, you remember what was that one movie that tried to compete with Star Wars, where they took Sean Boy from the Waltons and made him the hero? He had the spaceship that was shaped like titties.
Yes. I just watched that like a year ago.
Nightmare Ellen.
Oh, and the one with the Hoff.
Yep.
The
Hey,
one with the Hoff, that was really bad. That was horrible.
y'all know what M3 didn't tell y'all is that we're going to watch Steel Magnolias and Driving Miss Daisy after this is over together. So
That is Steel Magnolias. Is that going to be the movie this month, Curtis?
Yeah, I guess.
And I don't know if $1 million could get me to do that.
how about $1,000,001?
Maybe. Now we're talking.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, I would say as far as like studios trying to make the same movie and compete with each other, the worst attempt ever was when they made Ed TV to try and compete with The Truman Show. It's like
yeah.
the Truman Show was a fucking masterpiece, and EdTV was like just boring.
Not, yeah.
I recently watched Truman Show, like within the last month. Good.
Yeah, in my opinion, easily Jim Carrey's best film ever.
It's a good film.
I think we talked about this the other night, but what's the one he's in where it's his first?
Oh,
role?
there you go. Doug got it. Battle Beyond the Stars. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was the
Battle
one with
Beyond the
John Boy
Stars.
from the Waltons.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh wow, that was so
John
bad
Boy.
I forgot it.
Yeah. And he was serious.
Three.
His whole like character, he was like serious. Like he was trying hard, you know, like he was
Hey Doug, did you want to come on cam?
Yeah, feel
Oh,
free to
Doug,
join
you
us,
would-
Doug.
Doug, join.
no. Doug,
Hey, I'm here. I was just
Oh.
reading some emails.
Oh, yeah. Work emails already.
Yeah. Fuck
Uh,
yeah.
It's Sunday, man. I know to prep yourself.
Frankie
for Monday.
boy,
Yeah, that's
what
great.
up?
What up?
Right,
I
we're
like
we're
the
on
good
free
shit.
for all time now, though, folks. So anyone in the chat that wants to join, I believe Curtis put the link in there.
I
The
did.
cool thing about 1989 was that it was VHS.
You might have to
like it was
scroll
at
up
its
a little
peak.
bit to get to it, but it's in there.
So a lot of these movies were all VHS. Like go there on a Friday night and everybody picked out a movie, so you had a stack of movies for the whole family throughout the whole weekend.
And there it is again.
I miss Moto. I miss Blockbuster. Like going
You
there
know
for
what I mean?
Friday, and then you get there too late and get the last copy of that new release, and you're like, damn,
I miss the mom
like
pop.
ruins your whole weekend.
Yeah, but
yeah, those two.
just renting. These were the movies that you rented on VHS that you didn't really go to the theater to see so much. We saw the
Some of
Indiana Jones in theaters.
A
Some of
Batman
them,
was-
we didn't pay our newspaper route money to go see these movies. But now that
Right.
we're adults and we talk about them, we realize just how really good and truly fantastic.
Batman
they
was
are.
the first movie I bought with my own money on VHS, and I bought 2 copies of it.
See what I'm saying? That's
One,
exactly
which I
my
still
point.
have wrapped in the original cellophane wrapping.
Why don't you just say
Rapper.
plastic?
Yeah, I don't remember what the first movie I
Plastic.
bought on VHS was, but I do remember the first movie I bought on DVD, and that was Twister.
That's a good one.
We have cows.
We have cows.
Yeah, I love Twister, man. That movie.
I
is
like the sequel too. I
the
thought the
guilty
sequel was
pleasure
Wrong,
for me.
not as good as the first, but still good.
Wait, the sequel or the reboot?
Whatever that last one.
It's
Twisters with
technically
the
a
S.
sequel.
Yeah, it's
Emprey.
technically
not
a
a
sequel,
reboot.
yeah.
It's a sequel.
Yeah, it's technically a sequel. It's good. You know, in its
It's
own
pretty
right.
good. Oh,
Wow, Mark
Right, it's-
Cosplay said he watched 89 Batman 5 times and Jurassic Park 3 times.
What up, Fred Astaire?
The new Jurassic. I already
Hello,
saw the
Mark.
Jurassic World Monday. It was a sneak peek movie, the Monday mystery movie at Regal. It's mid at best. I know I got into trouble with Caveman and one of his cave kids.
Me.
Wasn't it one of your
It's
cave
mid.
kids?
You're one
It
of
was
my
your
kids.
cave-
Yeah. You want to tell him what she texts you?
Oh God, I don't
Just
even remember.
No context. No
I know, and I was
context
like,
at all.
What the hell?
She just texted him, "You gaping asshole."
Oh wow, that's a
That's like-
compliment.
Well, that's what
That's like-
text. That's
Wow,
what
somebody's
text
bringing their
reporters
kids
do.
up.
Hey,
Brian,
hey,
so I
look,
thought.
It was a gaping asshole that got Ed a strike the other day.
Was it?
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
Ooh, I don't want to talk about
What-
What
that.
strike was it?
Let's do that off the live. Let's do that backstage to talk about that.
No gaping assholes here for Ed.
I just wanna
Yeah,
thank-
it wasn't
I
your
wanna-
fault, man. It
but
was a learning
I-
experience, and
It
you
was a
learned
learning
your
experience.
lesson.
I will screen who comes on live. I
Let's
thought I
talk
did.
some tea.
I
Let's
really
talk
thought
some
it was
tea.
M3 or somebody. It sounded like one of you guys, like you were disguising your voice, but it kind of sounded like y'all, and it wasn't.
Hell yeah, Corey.
It was
What was
secretly
it?
M3.
What was it?
It
Like
probably
black
was.
transvestite
It
or what?
was. I have no,
No,
idea
it
what
was
it
just
was.
some asshole who came on, and once Ed
Showed
let
some
him on,
porn.
he like put up a bunch of like
Yeah, what was
explicit
something,
images. And,
So I got a 3-month
got Ed a
warning on my
warning.
channel. Not a
Private
strike, but a
Kyle or
warning.
something like that was his
Yeah.
name.
And I took the video down and everything and all that stuff.
Congratulations, Ed. You're climbing. You're making it.
But yeah, she.
I guess yeah, I'm
told,
becoming someone. Yeah.
I told my daughter that that Ed had seen it early, and she's like, "That asshole." I said, "You should text him that." She says, "I'm going to," with no context. And then a few minutes later, Ed texted me. He's like, "Did your daughter just text me,
Bleep,
gaping asshole?" I was like, Yeah,
like,
she's
did
mad
she
'cause
mean
you went
that-
and
is
seen
this-
Jurassic World.
Is this text meant? So it was so funny. So I was talking to her in whatever Gen Z slang or whatever it is. I was like, it's so mid. I was like, it was doing too little. I was like, we had a blast talking
It was
about it. but
skibbity bibbity.
It was Skibbity, Ohio, whatever, Arkansas.
Are you guys going to see the new Jurassic Park?
Yeah, I
Oh,
already
yeah.
saw it. Yeah, but it's yeah.
You already
have
saw
not
it?
seen it. You
Yeah,
have
it
not
was.
seen
It was that Curtis just entered the chat. Apparently, yeah, it was the
Right.
Monday mystery movie last Monday, and
Where?
they're at Regal.
Oh,
Because they have those every other Monday. Yeah, so everybody was shocked. And it's funny, when we went there, the manager never is in the lobby saying, make sure you don't record with your phones. And then she's like, oh, we require that, that you don't do that for every movie. And there are people coming up there because apparently it leaked on Reddit. So I don't really follow Reddit. That's what them little kids, they follow that Reddit. But yeah, so it leaked and people were like mad that they couldn't get tickets, and she's like, ma'am, you have to buy your tickets in advance. And
yeah.
we're like, what's the movie? And I
We
was
got our
hoping
seats for Saturday at 2.
yeah, it's if you like Jurassic, you'll like it. I mean, Jurassic fans will like it. I thought ScarJo was good in the film, but it's got a lot of Scarlett Johansson. They call her ScarJo.
Oh,
Yeah.
ScarJo.
Yeah.
I was thinking G.I. Joe Scarlett. My
Yeah,
bad.
and I kept thinking that Coleman Domingo was the guy in there, but it's not Coleman Domingo. It's the other actor that reminds me of Coleman Domingo. I can't think of his name, but it's okay.
It's knockoff Coleman Domingo.
No, it wasn't that, but I don't know who the guy was. I can't think of his name right now, but it was okay film.
Cornholio.
Hey, Corey's out, you guys. He happens to be over in North Dakota right now for work. But later, Corey. Good to see
Later,
you.
Corey.
Later,
Stranger.
Hey, buddy.
Good hearing from you, stranger.
Yeah. Hey, Fred. I've got Daphne and Velma, dude. You could have Shaggy and Scooby. I'm gonna say that every time I see Freddy. They're mine, Freddy. You can go over there.
No.
Freddy.
Fred's
Go
gonna set
there.
a trap for you, M3.
Yeah, Daphne's got a dinger. So does Velma. I'm like, shit. Like the Bigfoot movie, he's like, or the Bigfoot AI shit. He's like,
Yeah.
Well, you
We're gonna
remember
do
the live action Scooby Doo movies with Freddie Prinze Jr.?
Yeah.
only one.
Like, I have to say, Velma was way hotter than Daphne in that.
Yeah, she was.
Wait, then Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Sarah
and-
Michelle Gellar was Daphne,
Yeah,
but
Both of
Velma is the one that plays Hawkeye's wife in the Marvel Cinematic
right.
Universe.
She's
Also,
fucking hot.
Mark Wahlberg.
She's a smoke show for sure.
Yeah, they did a deleted scene where she dances and she gets possessed. They deleted that scene out.
Well,
Yeah, well-
which one was it where she wears the skin tight red leather to try and impress Seth
That's-
Green? Like,
that's
oh
the
my
second
god!
one. The second
Gotta be
one.
the first one.
Like,
No,
she
the
is
second
an
one.
absolute smoke show. And not that Sarah Michelle Gellar is like not attractive, but she's nowhere near as attractive as
If you had to pick, yeah. I always thought that the brunette was pretty too.
yeah.
She's
I
got
thought
a
that
lot-
was
her
really
body's
strange
way
that
better.
They made
You
Velma
see
hotter
more-
than Daphne in it.
You see more naughty Thelma pictures than you do Daphne. I'll put it to you that way.
Yeah, bending over looking for glasses. Jinkies.
Shit like that. Yeah, exactly.
She could jinkies on this.
What
one.
was you saying about the Bigfoot video?
Oh,
Andrew?
the AI Bigfoot videos where he's got the camera in front of him and he's like running,
Yeah.
and he's like,
That's just so popular, so funny now.
it's hot right now.
Yeah, well, it's what is it? It's Yeti and Sasquatch, right?
Well, not all
Yeti, Sasquatch, Bigfoot.
gorillas.
um,
They're throwing all kinds of. I seen a Spider-Man one.
the Star Trooper ones are funny as fuck too, man.
Bigfoot's a big
Yeah, I
thing
saw
now,
one,
man.
it
You
was,
missed out.
It was really entertaining.
They got you a Bigfoot.
Because you look at those videos, where like they show like, oh, Asian guy builds house out of mud in jungle. You know what I mean? And they did one where it's Bigfoot like building his own log cabin, like in the same vein. It was pretty funny.
Oh yeah, they're good. Hey, Mark Cosplay, and you don't want to make me angry, jump on. You don't want to make me.
What did he call a cocaine?
Well, Mark
machine?
Cosplay, I'm sure would love to come on, but Curtis has him blocked.
Why do I
Yeah,
have
Curtis.
him blocked?
I don't know. It happened to me a few weeks ago back on Kaz's
You
channel.
think Curtis is
Virgo
mean?
was fucking around and accidentally blocked me, and it took Kaz because it was his channel to unblock me. So you have to unblock Mark.
Well, that's like Mark Cosplay's new shtick. He keeps accusing everyone of blocking him.
Yeah, you blocked me. You blocked me in 3. You blocked me, Kurt.
how do you unblock him?
Fuck if I
No,
know.
Curtis, you didn't block him. It's just his new joke.
Oh, okay.
No,
He says
I blocked
everybody
him.
blocked him.
Somehow or another, I blocked him. Seriously, for real. Honestly, I blocked him. And the only person that can undo it is Curtis because I blocked him while I was on Curtis's channel.
How?
I don't know, fat thumbs, drinking. Shit, I don't know.
It was the dark side, Curtis.
It was that.
Don't you got to have a wrench to block?
Yeah, you need to have a wrench to block.
It's Kathleen Kennedy that did it.
I don't know.
She
I
was
don't think you had Moto. I don't think you actually blocked him. I think he's just. I think he's fucking with you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oopsies.
Yeah, because I mean, he accused Bullwinkle of blocking him, but Bullwinkle wasn't even on the other day.
Oh,
Fucking Mark. See, he's fucking with us. You see
yeah,
what he said?
fucker. Yeah, now I do.
Look at that.
But you're wearing those Hanes ball hugger, those cup holders that are built in. Those are nice. Those look good on you.
Boxer briefs are the most comfortable. I don't care what anyone says.
Oh, hell no.
Those silky ones with the built-in the ball holders. Oh, they're the best.
Right. It depends on the brand, obviously.
Hanes.
Yeah, actually, I agree with you, Moto. Hanes, man, they're comfortable, bro.
If I wear boxers, they kind of make me
Silky.
feel a little funny down there.
No.
Well,
these are
I said
these
boxer
are boxer
briefs.
briefs.
Oh, boxer briefs. Yeah.
Yeah, these are and they got like a built-in ball sack already ready for
Yeah.
us to just
Right, and the
Hey, I
fact
picked
that
this up.
the fact that they have legs on them keep them from riding up your crack.
yes, it's great. That's why I loved it. Huh.
I just texted you.
Like if you're still wearing tidy whities and you're not John Cena in Peacemaker, like you got a problem.
Oh, that comes out next month or August.
Yeah,
Joker.
I'm hyped for Peacemaker. Like anything James Gunn does in the comic book world, I'm like super happy about it.
Superman happy about it. Superman.
I mean, Peacemaker season 1, I don't hate it, but watching it once was enough
Ooh,
for me.
smell this marker.
I'm not smelling that shit. You smell it.
Let me smell. Oh, it smells good. Oh, that's
It smells like shit.
No, that's Ace Gap. What is it? Ass Gap. App.
Well, this Jameis took a right turn.
Ass Gap.
I know.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. The stream that we set out to make tonight is finished. Anything from here on out is
Yeah.
basically the casual toy chat.
Oh God. the dime store version, right? Flex hard.
And
flex
look,
hard.
Ed, you're no longer left out. You are officially an action figure collector
Yes, I am.
'Cause-
Yeah.
because you bought $6 million man action figure at Joe Fest.
What? Get the out. I got. Yeah, we got to.
Ed plays with dolls. Ed plays
yeah.
with dolls.
See, and this is just proof of Ed's age. He bought a Steve Rogers figure, and it's not Captain America.
Excuse me, sir. A Steve who?
Oh, Steve Austin.
Thank you. The original.
Yeah, there you
Steve
go. He bought a
Austin.
Steve
And-
Austin figure, and it's
and
not
he's
a
a-
wrestler.
And he's a colonel.
You're still
He's a
old.
Colonel. He's got the bionic eye.
Oh,
got-
he could, his dude.
You know, that's always been something that weirded me out. Like even about the old the GI Joe with the same feature with the bionic eye. I always just looked like he got shot in the head.
He's got
Yeah.
he's got the bionic arm with all the
Yeah.
the
Hey, take
bionics
it-
there.
Look at do his
And
hand.
this is in pristine. Yeah, you can do the hand. It's a
Wow.
special hand you put on there that he picks up the girder with.
That's cool.
the steel girder, and he's got the, the thing in the back that you push.
Let's see his
And-
booty.
Yeah, but he's never beat The Rock at WrestleMania.
Oh, he's a little sagging. He's working
But
out.
the guy I got him from, he's pretty awesome. This is the dude I got it from, and I'm gonna have him on my podcast. Big Earl's Vintage Toys and
Hey, you're
Fun Antiques.
Why
And
are
dude,
you mirrored?
yeah, you're mirrored. You're mirrored.
I don't know why it does that. I
He had this
unmirrored it
the other night, and he flipped it, and it didn't do a damn thing.
because I think the camera's taking over from the StreamYard, but it's weird, man.
Bob, he's lost
See-
control. AI is now in control of Ed.
Yeah.
Hey, we
But-
didn't even notice with your shirt says 6-pack profit.
Oh, yeah.
It took this long. All those Pac-Mans are facing the opposite direction. That's nuts, dude.
Well, Pac-Man can face either direction.
That's
The
right.
words on the
Not the-
shirt
not the
are
letters.
backwards, though, and that's
Look at the letters on top of his shirt, though. That's crazy.
yeah, I know. That's what
I
I,
love
just
it.
said. The word.
I love it. Yeah. Well,
Sorry.
anyway, he threw this in.
I
This
mean,
is an
hell,
actual-
the Star Wars on the bucket behind him is backwards.
Good Lord, dude. Ed, your name's backward on your screen. It says Droll Hehom.
Does it for real? Because when I'm looking,
Oh,
I'm
dude.
looking in StreamYard right now, and everything looks correct. Like this is my right hand moving.
To me, it looks like your left hand.
Oh, that's so
Yeah,
weird.
that's 100% your left hand to us.
Well, I'm watching it on there. The words are correct. My words are correct. At least, I don't know.
Not for us.
But anyway, he threw this in, and this is laminated. It's actual Kenner, and it's got their version of like a movie viewer and all that stuff. But this guy has the biggest collection, either in the U.S. or the world, and all this stuff is like brand new. He
The
knew
last
somebody
time the
on inside.
Rebels got laminated, they blew up the shield generator.
Yeah. But it's really cool. You got the bionics there. And none of this stuff is scratched. I mean, this thing is pristine. You'd think this thing stepped out of the right off
Yeah,
the assembly line.
it was really in prime condition. Other than like there's some parts missing. Like I think there's some covers that go on those bionic
Wait,
pieces.
Well,
and
no,
then,
actually, it's not missing those at all. There are no
I thought
covers
you
on it.
told you told me there was covers that.
Well,
went
no. He was going to throw in the free skin because there's skinny,
the
but
sleeve.
I forgot
Okay.
to get that. But you can see there is a little right here. This one is a little bit faded. That's a sticker, but where you have the plastic for the bionics, look how pristine that is. You don't see that on a 50-year-old, action figure. But this is a
Wait,
very
you didn't get that from M3, did you? Because if you did, you need to check
No.
it with a black light.
no, it didn't have
Hey, I don't
any.
fuck with Rails Profit. Trust me, there's nothing on him.
No, but that doesn't mean spillover from when you were messing with your females couldn't have happened.
True.
But
Spray,
Oh,
man,
no.
spray.
He said spill.
It's an area effect.
It's
But
on the moon.
I used
It's on
to-
the moon, dude.
But the dude gave me a good deal on this because last year a caveman was with me and I picked up one. It's like $80, and the outfit was worn and the little
Yeah, it was really
patch
dingy,
was-
and you know how dust gets into crevices and
yeah.
stuff. That it
But this
It
is
wasn't
I'll bet
great.
you M3's toy room looks like a Jackson Pollock painting in a black light.
it probably does.
Yeah, it's
I
like
don't doubt that.
those black light posters you buy.
Hey, I picked
Wow,
up my
really good.
109th sub just now.
Even drips, they're still in effect. They're just crystallized.
I cannot get this stupid plastic on here. But yeah, you probably noticed that there's a lot missing behind me. I've started moving part of my studio out of town to my other location. My next, so I'm packed up a lot, but I still got more packing up to do.
So you're taking everything over to the studio?
Well, to my other studio, in another city. I'm moving, so or
Are you-
whatever.
Are you not with your? Is your wife moving with? Wait, I don't understand. I don't know why you're moving because.
they're both moving. They're both
Yes.
moving.
Oh,
They're,
wow.
they're selling their house and they're moving.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. I was tripping. I did not know that. I had no clue.
Yeah,
Oh, moving sucks, bro. I ain't moving
Yes.
nowhere.
I don't
Profit.
want to move.
Hey, no, look, M3, that's a legitimate question, though, because he said we're moving and then he corrected himself. Well,
Well,
I'm moving.
there's things
and
I
that
can't
doesn't insinuate
say.
that there's trouble in paradise.
There's definitely not. In fact, we're coming up the end of July. Will be 10 years we've been married, but 30
Pepper, you
something
named her Pepper?
30 something years.
Pepper?
Do what?
You named her Pepper?
I call her Pepper sometimes. She's
Oh,
redhead
perfect,
sometimes.
perfect. That's great.
Pepper Potts.
That's
But,
cool. That's cool.
But yeah, so and I'm doing the radio station.
Yeah, that was
job-
one of the biggest
job down there.
disappointments for me because I bought a Pepper figure from the MCU and she didn't come with any pot.
Yeah, Doug. Hey, Sega Genesis showed up. What up? Sega Genesis said Batman 1989 will always be in the best Batman than today's Batman. Yep, cool. Good for you, Sega. I think a lot of us feel that way too. I personally left Michael Keaton for the Batman, from the vampire from
Sparkly one.
Yeah, I do have to say I do like the Batman. I think it's a fantastic movie.
Which they just finally finished the script the other day.
What do you mean?
But
for
I
Batman
do
2.
think that Michael Keaton is still the best Bruce Wayne.
Bruce Wayne.
I've always said. Oh, sorry. Go
No,
ahead. man.
just real quick. I like the guy that played American Psycho for Bruce Wayne.
Oh, he's my worst.
Well, yeah, because he
Okay.
just repeated his character from American Psycho as his Bruce Wayne.
Okay.
But you know, if Bruce Wayne were a real person, like in everyday life, I think. Not saying this guy is the best Bruce Wayne, but I don't forgot his name. Oh Lord, the Ocean's 11 guy. What's his name?
Oh, Brad Pitt.
No, Batman and Robin. The worst Batman.
George Clooney.
Oh,
George Clooney.
Oh,
In real life, if there was someone that would personify Bruce Wayne, kind of the playboy thing, I feel like that he would in real life. Not that he's the best Bruce Wayne.
Look, Digital said no,
Batman.
sir.
I
Digital,
know.
who's your Bruce Wayne? Digital.
He's not my Bruce Wayne, but
Oh, I think visually, Val Kilmer pulls off the best Batman visually.
Is that the nipple suit?
But
correct?
I think
Yes, that's right.
Keaton. Yeah, he had the and
no.
the-
Bat Nipples was Clooney.
No,
Batman and
it was
Robin.
at-
Oh,
it was
Bat
at the end
Nipples
of Batman
was both
Forever.
of Joe Schumacher's Batman movies.
Oh, it was.
He
those
like
two?
he
Okay.
liked Bat Nipples and Neon Lights. Joel Schumacher.
And close-ups on Batman and Robin's crotches.
But I did
But
love
as far
Chase.
as far as personality wise, I think that Keaton really takes that because you can see in a thing where he can just spin on a dime, whether he's nice, mild mannered playboy, billionaire, philanthropist to Batman.
But
Right,
I
say that.
think
would say
Keaton doesn't get enough credit for his is more of a cerebral Batman, a more damaged Batman. Like I love Nicole Kidman as Chase Meridian, his like psychiatrist or whatever. I think that's interesting. Of course, the worst Harvey Two-Face was whatever his name was. Great actor, but
Tommy Lee Jones.
yeah. And I think Jim Carrey nailed the
He
joke.
did.
The Riddler, excuse me.
He nailed Frank Gershwin as the Riddler.
Yes, he did. And those roles.
Yeah,
The
but you
role was
watch Tommy Lee Jones' performance in that film, and then you think about he told Jim Carrey that he couldn't sanction his buffoonery.
yeah.
It's like, really, dude? That's the pot calling
Exactly.
the kettle black if ever I've seen it.
What's interesting that Robin Williams was almost promised the role of Riddler kind of unofficially for the
He
Joker.
didn't want it though.
Was it the Riddler or Joker?
No, he was in the running to be the Joker originally until
right.
they hammered out their deal with Nicholson.
Nicholson.
And then they said, well, we'd rather you play the Riddler anyway.
But I
And
personally
so
felt
he
he was
was-
a little too old for the role.
No,
he-
he turned it
he
down
was-
from the get go.
Yeah, no, not at the time.
No.
So he was pretty much promised in everything but writing that he was going to be the Riddler. The same as not Damon Wayans, but the younger Wayans brother was supposed to be Robin, and he was supposed to be in the '89 film, like at the very, very end, and then he was
Into-
supposed to have a more prominent part in Batman Returns, but then Tim Burton didn't want to use Robin.
So they were contractually
then-
obligated to pay him full price, and
Yes,
he got
they
paid
did
as
have to
if
pay
he were
him.
in the film.
Because he
So-
was under contract. to
Yeah.
do that. And then he was supposed to, when Schumacher took over and they did Batman and Robin, he was supposed to, come in and do that, but they decided to recast it to Chris O'Donnell instead because his
Well,
backpack
I
was
have to
bigger.
say, I think Paul
than Val
Dano's
Kilmer's.
Riddler is easily the best Riddler.
And that's from the Batman, right?
Yes.
But what's interesting, I mean, I get that. It is a great performance. I love that film, but it's almost too dark for the Riddler. I mean, I get it. It's a very Arkham Asylum kind of, and I like the performance, but part of me doesn't feel like he's the Riddler. I feel like he's a different character, almost like a
Wait.
I
Zaz
don't
or
know, man,
something.
because you have to take into consideration
Yeah,
that
that's a
they
tough
they
movie.
have to appeal to the modern comic book audience with him.
True.
And the Riddler in the modern comics is not a goofy Frank Gershon or Jim Carrey Riddler. He's a Paul Dano Riddler.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
going
Because one of the most popular Batman story arcs in the last few years was Hush. Batman
Hush was great.
and the
yeah.
main villain of that turned out to be Riddler.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Hush is
Riddler is
brilliant.
diabolical
Yeah.
on a
You're right.
level that Jim Carrey and Frank Gershon could not convey.
Did you watch the cartoon movie?
I did. Those are brilliant. And the Telltale Riddler,
Yeah.
Hush was
Prophet.
incredible.
Prophet. In 1966 Batman, putting in my head Adam West, that Riddler, what murders did he plot? Who died up under his belt? Because like you said, the Riddler in the Batman is on point as a psycho person who leaves riddles for the detectives to try and figure out of who's going to die next. And they better get him before he fucking dies next. You know, that kind of thing.
Well,
He didn't
you
murder
have to take
anybody.
into consideration when you're talking Adam West Batman, those villains didn't
Nobody
kill
got
anybody.
murdered.
They didn't kill, yeah.
They were
None
always
of those
saved.
villains killed anybody.
They always
Yeah,
got saved.
they knocked people out and they stole stuff. That's
Right.
the crimes that
The
they
Riddler is more a pain in the butt, is what he was.
Well, they
because
would
of all of
would
his
set
riddles.
They would set bombs and stuff like that to kill a whole bunch of people, but
Batman was always like this.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Running up and down the dock.
shark repellent.
It's
know,
like
and
there's
they
a
would-
bus full of nuns, there's a line of ducklings. It's like, I can't drop this bomb.
and they would climb. And
Hands
they would,
down, that is still my favorite Batmobile. Is not a question. in
66
my mind.
Batmobile is the
66
best.
Is the
And then
best.
89 is a close second.
I agree.
Astray,
I
jump
agree.
in, Astray.
The rest of them can go to hell.
Hey, Stray.
a stray Blu-ray.
What's up, Astray?
Yeah, Curtis, you want to throw a fresh link out there for anyone who might have just joined recently?
Here's
Yes,
some
but not
fresh
for
look
Mark
in your face,
cosplay because
Astray.
he's blocked.
Yeah,
I got
you
some-
could throw out a stale link if you wanted to, even a day old link.
A gaping link for you, Astray. Ed likes him gapes.
No touchy.
There's a gape in your logic, sir.
No
That's
touch.
such a weird word, gape. Doesn't that sound like
Great.
like grapes that turn you homosexual?
Yeah, I want gape wine. What did you say? I said I want grape wine. Did you though?
Whoa, 180.
Fred Hiss
Mark-
there.
Mark asked Astray to unblock him, and Astray said no.
Hey, Caveman, Star Trek Resurgence from my Steam wish list is now on sale.
Hey,
Remember
every
your
every
Steam
letter
wish
in that
list.
paragraph that you just showed up was backwards, dude.
I don't know why it's the camera fighting with StreamYard, and they can't
That was
figure it
weird
out.
though. Everything was like written like the Torah and shit, man.
I'm the Riddler. It's a riddle. Riddle me this. Damn.
Oh
All
man.
right, let's mirror. How about that? Is that better?
Nope.
Mark Cosplay and Astray say that Fred is Bullwinkle. And if that's true, the ascot makes sense.
Yes. Bullwinkle.
Fred is Merman. Look at him. Hella happy and shit.
It looks like some seaweed growing in the background or something.
With his scarf, dude.
Oh, Astray is on M3s, and Kurt added the link to his channel.
Stray's on M3s and Kurt added the link.
Oh, Stray said no. Stray said unblock me.
Maybe that's what's wrong with. Oh no, he said his internet went down.
Yeah, no, Ace messaged me and told me his internet was out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's last time my internet went out was like a thing where they emailed me an hour before and said, "Hey, we're gonna turn your fucking shit off real quick. We got to do some repairs in your area." Cool. And then an hour after that,
Oh no!
not recently. This is like when I
Straight is like, where the hell am I?
when I get storms that knock out my internet.
Stray, if you're watching on M3's channel, come watch on Curtis's channel, and there's a link you could jump in with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here.
We are
Hey,
so
Sega,
confused.
do your research on most movies aren't woke, dude. It's kind of like it got to a peak of woke, and if your algorithms aren't showing you those movies, or shit on YouTube and stuff, yeah, you're right though. Some did get woke, but a lot of the series got woke. A lot of the series that you watch on shit, but I want to say that most
I just want good
There you go,
storytelling.
Stray. I just sent it to you on text.
not too many movies are not woke, but they're not.
Mark,
It's like
Mark
50
says the
Cent,
stray needs to unblock him first. Everybody's blocked.
Stray, unblocked.
Stray.
Mark.
Who is Gamora?
Why
What is
Gamora?
Gamora?
I'll
happens-
do you one better. Why is Gamora?
Why is Gamora's? Because Thanos didn't annihilate her. Thanos let her live. That's why Gamora is Gamora. He chose her to live, and he murdered the planet.
Zoe Saldana is so hot, though.
And Columbiana. Have you seen Columbiana?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Fucking
That,
hey,
that pool scene just shows off her complete body. Like
she's
perfect.
great. Yeah,
That's TMI, Stray. We didn't need to know that.
What?
Well,
Zoe?
DC thinks it's TMI. M3 is very happy that you're naked.
Oh yes, I just had to swallow real quick.
I bet you did.
You bet I did. We need a bigger boat.
Ed, I don't want to play that Star Trek game. It's from Telltale Games, and
Is
that's
it?
like it's like a read it and choose your own adventure.
Oh, it kind of is.
That's
The
what
graphics
those-
were good on it, but oh yeah, okay.
Fred's face.
It's only
looks all
$6,
mad.
dude.
He's getting
What's-
look
Fred's
Fred's
mad.
Fucking
Fred
ramming.
is
face
up.
is all
Upset.
what?
He's gaping, Fred.
Yes.
Fred's getting gaped right now, dude.
Right. Well, if you look at that picture, Shaggy's right behind him.
Oh, dear.
Zoinks! Have you ever had your shit pushed in? Oh, there you go. Much
He
happier.
found the lube. He found the lube.
Now he's the gaper. He's like, see, I could do it too. Oh, God. Fred Hysteria, that's great. Digital, you hang out with a bunch of fags, dude, a.k.a. Curtis, a.k.a. Ed. I'm out.
What?
Ed, did
M3.
you hear that? M3 just called you a lover of the eggplants.
Well, the fact that I was streaming on my channel, don't like that.
Oh, Mark Cosplay says to play that Star Trek game. It's great in the sequel as well. No, I'm gonna pass. I used to read your own adventure books, you know, like back in grade school. That's 100 years ago to some of you folks probably. But yeah, no, I don't care much for those games. That type of
Yeah,
game.
I don't care much. Star Trek completely sucks all the way around. Even the Klingons.
Oh, Curtis.
Yeah,
Curtis.
okay.
I'm just kidding.
I want to express that
Prophet.
Sergeant Schultz does not
Prophet.
express the views of the Prophet Director in any way.
You need to target his location with photon torpedoes, and
What's up, ex Daredevil? And what's up,
oh,
Next
Daredevil.
Daredevil.
What's up, dude?
Daredevil? And Mike McClung, what up?
Yeah, we ran into Daredevil at Joe Fest too.
That's dope. Oh yeah.
Were either of you heard?
Nah, it was just like an easy tap.
I am being jammed. Mike is being jammed right now.
There's only one man who would dare give me the raspberry.
Oh shit.
It's yours, Mike, for being jammed. Sorry.
Fucking F3. That's fantastic. Thanks for that, F3. Thank you for that very, very much.
On that note,
Oh, that's funny.
man, I swear, man. If Ed sends me any more weed, dude, I'm gonna be like, Ed, stop,
I'm
dude.
not sending you any of that.
And he sends me coke. He's like, okay, I sent you some coke. How about some nudes? I'm
Send
like,
me some
all right.
gummies.
Ed likes them nudes on digital.
Yeah,
Digital's like, yeah. I sent him one once a
Man,
week.
he has.
Hey, M3, what is the big? What is
He's
the
got,
big?
he's got a hard
Booger-
drive with a massive
booger
collection
powder or
of,
something?
Oh yeah. Oh no,
You
it's something sugar. He's called it at least two things. I forget though, man. They're pretty good.
Something booger.
Oh yeah, snow booger or some shit. Or,
Booger
Yeah.
sugar.
Hell yeah.
Booger
Sugar. That's what it is.
Hey, shout out Rob 78.
Do you want to build a snowman? Yes, but I
yes,
can't.
but I can't.
Booger sugar.
Feige was very clear. That's the one thing we can't talk about.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun meeting everybody at Joe Fest Daredevil. It sure was.
It was awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I
So
went looking
this
for
is
Daredevil,
surprise
but you
people
were like
ran-
walking really fast,
we-
Daredevil.
Jump on, Daredevil.
We met.
Come
Well, of course, we met Kaz. We, all around we saw Kaz. We ran into Kid and Raw Talk as well. I
Where's
didn't even know
MC?
they were going.
MC.
You fucker.
Well,
It's fucking F3. Look.
Look
was
at
it
Kurt.
MC was like, he was in one of my videos.
Hey,
for
how
X
are you,
Men.
my friend?
I don't even want to know
There's
what that
another
is in your mouth.
He's like M3's penis is this tiny and it's going in my mouth.
Like whatever's in Curtis's mouth, he's clearly enjoying it.
Yeah,
No, we gotta cut the line.
And Ed's like, I need to jump out of here, man. I can't be associated with these people.
hey, Ed's getting a
Basically.
boner, dude. It's like Brokeback Mountain all over for him. He cried at Brokeback Mountain.
Oops.
I don't know what I just walked in on.
Yeah, you do.
I've been here and I don't know what's going on.
It's great.
Yeah.
Stray
All I
Another
know
night at
is
the old
I
folks'
saw
home.
moisture, and I'm just gonna mind my damn business.
Did you say moisture?
You're
He
naked.
said
He's naked as fuck.
Boys.
Curtis,
Probably
this is a
hotter than hell.
judge-free space.
Lord.
You know, sometimes the weather gets real hot down in the south, and you got the
Don't blame that on the South.
Don't blame it on the South.
all that humidity and
Hey, Prophet,
stuff. And you gotta get down to the skivvies.
Hey, Prophet and Curtis are fucking
Blame
Yankees.
it on the stars.
We're what, Ed3?
Shine at night.
You're a Yankee. Curtis is a Yankee. Bullwinkle's a Yankee. Ed is a fucking not a Yankee. Digital's not a Yankee.
Wait a minute, Ed3, did you just say you want to yank me?
That's what it sounded like.
And
Wait,
Curtis
you
at
want
the
me to
same
make it-
time.
You want me to make it official, Prophet? Hey, Prophet, can I yank
You want to ride bitch and go cross country skiing? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, yes. Please gape. Gape at your will. I'm gapeable.
Wow.
That's TMI.
But is it?
Yes.
Is it
I did not need to
Hand
know
up,
that.
Ed, get your other hand up.
Yeah,
guys.
I kind of have to agree with Digital on
That's
that one.
hilarious.
Hey guys, if you want to join in, I'm going to shut down in about 5 minutes. If you want to join the backstage,
Yeah, Mark Cosplay, Daredevil, anybody who wants to jump in, man. This is your last chance before
Hey,
we
Mark.
take it backstage.
Mark Cosplay blocked us.
I haven't been on with Mark Cosplay in a few months now, man. I
I
kind of
know.
miss it.
yeah.
He said his pussy hurts.
Hey, never talk about another man's vagina in public.
He said the same thing to me, though. That's cool.
What the
Mark
fuck is
Cosplay.
that? What the fuck is
He,
that?
he wears his vagina on his shoulder. He's very
Yes.
clear about that.
Mark. That guy's thinking hard, dude. This
That
is
monkey's supposed to be kissing.
hey. Buddha asks him. Confucius asks this guy questions. How?
Confucius say, man who go to sleep with itchy butt, wake up with stinky finger.
Fucking Ed raised his hand. Sorry. It was like perfect timing.
Oh yeah, dude, that's great. Oh shit.
Back, y'all. My rental period has expirated.
Yep, mine as well. I'll be back as well.
You need a Tampax for that period?
Oh, shit. Bull's here. Damn. What up, Bull?
Oh shit. Wait, Bull and Freddy's
I hope
here?
you weren't there for long.
Bull, why? How Bull? How is Bull here and Freddy's here? I thought Fred was Bull.
Do you
Fred is
believe
Bull.
in
It's Bull
magic?
Fred.
Do you believe in heart's desire?
Do you want to build a snowman?
Do you believe in magic?
I want you to play with my dingling.
My dingaling, ding ding.
Chuck
ding,
Berry,
ding.
shout out. Chuck Berry.
There. Curtis, suck on those.
Those little pencil tip nibbles.
Yeah, she's like, hey, I'm a
Beautiful.
robot. I'm a robot. I was made this way.
Perfect.
Those nipples look like they can stab.
They're antennas, dude. They have a function, okay? They can receive radio frequencies from across the galaxy. Whenever Optimus Prime is like nailing her from the back, she's like, "Teet, teet, teet." It's sending out to all Autobots. This is an incoming message. You are welcome here on Earth. just tap this ass.
Do
And
it, Doug. Do it.
That's how the transmission works. The two machines got to do that. For it to work.
it's a vibrational thing. Y'all know Tesla.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, just for the record, I heard Ed talk about our government today. Ed, shame on you for putting a plug in from your side.
Yeah.
Did you
It's
put a
fine.
plug in from yours?
Notice how
No.
we didn't. Notice how we didn't fucking.
Y'all
say it.
did.
We let
Oh.
you have it. We let you have it.
It's okay.
And I was like, Ed,
What's
Ed,
wrong?
got it going
You
on.
call-
I wasn't talking about that though. I was talking about something else, but
Lies.
I don't know.
You said Nazis.
Yeah.
What's
Damn.
wrong with saying the word Nazis?
Well, no, nothing. But
Nothing.
Ed was like, it's our government today. Nazi.
Oh,
I was like,
oh,
Ed,
that
I can't
shit.
believe you said that, Ed. I can't believe you said that. But it's fine.
I want to see Ed go on the 5.
Oh, dude, no, The View. The View. I want to see him on The View to get his first things, and The View's gonna love him. They're basically gonna jack him off. But when he goes on the 5, they're gonna be like, hey, you just got jerked off by The View.
Oh, we lost somebody. Who we lose?
Ed bounce. Ed, it better be your internet, Ed.
Oh, dude.
Oh, Ed.
No, he didn't do that. He couldn't have
Oh,
gotten that. He
dude.
could not have gotten that. Ed, digital, please tell Ed, forgive me. I was literally.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
No, wait. It's okay because he might say it is his internet.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, Ed.
Digital's
Ed,
Why
Mike.
can't we? Why can't we?
Hey,
fucking
'cause
talk
Digital's
shit
on
about that?
Digital's on the phone. Digital's on the phone with Ed, going, "Hey, I don't think he meant anything by it." And Ed's like, "No, I'm gonna watch Steel Magnolias, okay?
It- he's-
Driving Miss
Right.
Daisy, here I come." I just want to cry tonight.
he's wearing his pumps and he's wearing his pumps and stamping his
Yes.
feet. And I don't know why, good grandma. I just don't know why.
Ed, those are great ones. Ed, you gotta admit, those are really good.
All right, y'all. We'll say good night. Jump in. We're just gonna go backstage and cause trouble back there.
Later, everybody.
Thank you for coming. It was great. Wait till the next time, then we'll do the top S tiers of the 80s, and then after that we'll get into the 90s.
That's
No, it'll be by that time. It'll be time for the fucking
Halloween
bangers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Later, you don't want to make me angry. Later, Mark Cosplay.
Well, 90s might not start till January or something.
No shit.
Yeah. All right, guys. Y'all have a good night. Be safe. And God is my Lord and Savior.
Lord.
Amen.
Amen.